Hello, everyone. Hope you missed us, but not too much. We are finally back. We've returned from our vacation, and it's time to get back into it with another episode of Long Time Watcher, First Timer Writer. It's episode 61. How about that? 61 whole episodes. Round of applause, everybody. We made it.
Clap, 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 clap,
Yeah.
clap, clap, clap.
I'm gonna just say clap a lot because
I'm gonna force you to edit clapping because I did.
I put clapping. I was also clapping while saying clap. I'm not sure how well it carried.
I'll probably
I
just-
clapped,
I'll,
but
I'm
very
clapping
lightly.
like Donkey Kong, like right now.
I'll probably just
This game's
like,
winner is.
control like over
Genuine.
all of our tracks and then just click Control X on a lot of this and
That's so fair.
Control X, my whole account.
Yeah, really. Just throw the episode in trash. Fuck it.
No, let's get started, please.
Yes, let's get started, please, indeed. We are now starting our new series. We are going to be talking about 1987's Kamen Rider Black, which, to that end, Nanagon, I believe you've prepared a little something?
I have.
Please.
I would like for a moment to take you back a bit further back in time than 1987. The day is August 19th, 1887. The sky in the middle of the day starts to darken, and a total solar eclipse lasts for a few moments over Japan. Newspaper Asahi Shimbun. Oh gosh. Hey, you ever try to read stuff? Oh, you know what? Never mind. I'm just gonna.
You want to roll that one back a little bit, partner? I'm in the
Newspaper-
1800s. I'm a cowboy.
Newspaper Asahi Shimbun reports such an event as two people in Kunosuke Arai and Mashaharu Sugiyama were able to photograph the scene in the province of Echigo. 100 years later, we are in 1987, and Kamen Rider Black airs, where this Kamen Rider gains his power, or at least his transformations, during a total solar eclipse. With the failure of Super One in 1980, on both a financial and critical level, the crew of Kamen Rider were contemplating if it really had a place to continue, and Ishinomori wished to reinvigorate the series with more classic horror elements that he wanted to add into the series to begin with, such as exploring body horror, cults, and dark evil magic. He wrote a proof that would be about 10 pages long and eventually was developed into Kamen Rider Black. It was meant to be a reboot, and Ishinomori even called Kamen Rider Black a Kamen Rider Zero of sorts. Black's legacy reaches far, and the DNA of it extends not only into films like Shin Kamen Rider Prologue and into the next series, Kamen Rider Kuga, but it also marks an interesting first step of something we actually spoke of last season, which was the marketability of toys. Bandai, for the first time ever, would start to take hold of some of the design philosophies that these Kamen Riders would follow in order for them to be more profitable and more marketable as figures and other collectible sets. With it being the first Kamen Rider in 7 years, and the series that's supposed to answer the question, does this hero still have a future? There's a lot riding on this series, and, well, admittedly, history has already answered that question. There is still a lot left to dissect in the smaller little ripples and footprints that Black has left behind to reach into other aspects of Kamen Rider. So I'd like you to join us for another season of Longtime Watcher, First Time Rider, as we go through each episode and discuss everything we can about these 52 episodes. Thank you.
Woo!
Thank you, Gover. That was wonderful.
Clap, clap,
Hey,
clap, 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 clap.
I'm stuck in 1887. What did history prove?
Yeehaw.
What?
We gotta rescue Shakes.
Help!
we gotta Back to the
Trapped
Future
in
her ass.
time.
I took
I'm
a
going
sip
to-
of water as this was asked.
I have to give you a single flavor blasted goldfish. Welcome to the
Yeah.
future.
Welcome
Yeah,
to the
there you
future.
go.
Oh,
You're in
what?
2005.
I'm
now.
instantly transported. Shit, I went too far.
Shit.
I'm back. I think Kuga's over now.
Oh, no.
What am I even looking at anymore?
So true, bestie.
Here, I'll give you this
Oh.
VHS of Rugrats. That'll bring you to 2001-ish, you know. Close enough.
Kuga's starting again.
Yeah, there you go.
Welcome everybody to Longtime Watcher First Time Rider Kuga.
We hope you are enjoying the series, Kamen Rider Kuga. We don't think we've said it before, but Kamen Rider Kuga is good.
Yeah.
If you'd
I
like
don't
to
know if
hear
you
all
heard.
about it, see season 2.
Yeah, but this is season 3, and now it's time to black. If you have
Nice.
not blacked before, now you must black. Wonderful that we are starting it at the end of Black History Month.
So we can't take any Kamen Riders before this now, right?
Fuck you, man.
Also,
God.
also, I hope you know who we are by now.
God
we
damn,
didn't do
I
the
love
intro.
this. We sure fucking didn't.
I don't.
We've been
Don't know me.
bumble fucking our way through. Hey, welcome to episode 1 of a new season. Did you miss this shit, ladies and gentlemen? Anyway,
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
yeah.
I
Welcome
am.
back to the fucking clown fiesta.
I'm the new host of this series.
Hell yeah, I get to do nothing.
First time,
No.
or third time rider even. Ilya Miknonagan, with my longtime watcher, King Fats 95,
What's cracking? What's popping? What's happening?
and my other third time watchers, B Drops.
Hello. Sorry, I was the the little inflection at the beginning threw me off. B drops.
B drops.
And Action Shakespeare. There we go. Now everyone's got an inflection.
Inflection.
Can I get my back?
Yeah, sure. Action Shakespeare.
Yay!
Yippee.
I know her.
I know that name. Look. Yes, we are going to be talking about 1987's Kamen Rider Black, a series that historically is very much beloved, very, very much beloved. This is one of those series that gets talked about in Kamen Rider as a fandom.
Mm-hmm.
So very, very excited to see what all of the hype is about. And honestly, through the episodes that we have watched already to prepare for this recording, I kind of get it.
Right?
Oh yeah,
I-
there's a
I-
pretty immediate appeal.
Both get it and don't, but I guess that's to be discussed. I will say, I think just going for without going into any other further detail, this has been a fascinating thing to like hop back to as a midpoint between Kuga and Ichigo, because it definitely has the like material and thought put into it that I would expect of something done further in time as storytelling and such got more refined in television. Especially when you do a series enough, you have to kind of shake it up more. But still carrying very familiar jank, which is delightful, honestly.
But getting back to it, we're gonna jump right on in with checking out a real cool show, which we hope that you all also take the time to check out. Kamen Rider Black. We're gonna be starting with the first 3 episodes. That is Black Transformation, Monster Party for the Nintendo Entertainment System, and Strange Cyborg.
I think there's one thing I might like to say very briefly before we really dive in.
Please.
As far as like the context for the time that the show is made, when I was trying to do a little bit of research about the time period in which this show came out in the late 80s, from 1987 to 88. First of all, some crazy crimes going on around that time. Wow. I might mention one just for the fun of it. It has nothing to do with the series whatsoever.
Not yet.
I'm so curious as to what a crime has to be for you to call it fun.
The monster with 21 faces was the one I was thinking of specifically. The presumably collective, but never confirmed to be more than one person. They just are assumed to be potentially more than one person based on the moniker that they used, which was the monster with 21 faces, which was specifically targeting snack companies.
Mm-hmm.
They kidnapped the president of Glico. You may know Glico best as the company that makes Pocky.
On God?
Yes.
Yeah.
That I did not actually know. That's wild.
They did also put cyanide in a bunch of candy bars, which thankfully, thank God, word got out fast enough with their warning that, you know, the cops responded fast enough to get it all out without anybody actually dying from that.
Mm.
This person was never captured. And statute of limitations means that they're free now. Even if they come out and confess now, they cannot be arrested for this.
Wild to think about.
But yeah, that was a complete aside. Basically what I wanted to say was that all of my research largely boiled down to culturally, contextually, this is basically in an opposite place that Kuga was in. Most of our Kuga discussion for context was about like how this was after some very specific notorious cult activity in the country and after the bubble bursting and etc. Whereas this series is placed in the 80s during a time of tremendous like economic stability and growth in Japan, specifically set perfectly within the bubble.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I'm curious how much that will affect this series. Kind of, I think we might have brought this up with Kuga, but there are certain events in certain cultures that change their media forever. And for us in America, and this affected other people's media too, but for us in America, it was 9/11.
Right.
Yeah.
And that changed how we like frame threats in media. I don't think that has changed remotely. And I feel and I cannot but wonder if those attacks that we mentioned potentially influencing Kuga being, you know, having taken place after this series will have any effect on how we see it. Or I don't know. I'm just really curious because now in my mind I am kind of putting these two side by side and I want to see the differences between, you know, the activity and the economy, these particularly negative things in the minds of recent Japanese history. I want to see if that has affected how these turned out, and I want to study them under a microscope.
Absolutely same.
Yeah, no, I definitely recognize that sentiment.
The thing I'm excited for, or at least to discuss, because I've watched it, is the vibe of this show is very fun to me because it's like clearly the writing has become more refined and the storytelling, you know, since Ichigo.
Yeah.
We're kind of in this middle ground, right, of Ichigo and Kuga, at least in our perspectives. So, and it's interesting because you get that evolution of just television writing in general, but also of repeatedly making the same product over and over. But we still get to go back to a little of that jank that is so familiar to me. And I honestly cherish it because Kuga was getting a little too consistent for me. and and kicking off these episodes with a character who keeps hanging around that we do not know who she is is an amazing start to a show.
Shakes and I watched our episodes together, and at a certain point we were like, who is she?
Who
and I said,
is
okay,
this?
at risk of some spoilers, I'm going to look her up, and I did, and I was like, there's literally nothing that would have told me this.
I assume it will be revealed later, but
yes.
it is weirdly pressing information given how present she is.
So I will reveal her status later. When
we
it is
can get
relevant.
to it.
But yes, completely agree.
It really set the tone of just like, oh yeah, old TV. let's go. Let's just get into some shit and figure it out later, which is literally the progression of episode 1 and 2.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
there is some
Better.
wild cold opens in these sets of episodes already.
Oh my god, yes.
Yeah, this is a... Go ahead.
I'm opening so cold it gave me freezer burn. That's
There you go.
Ouch.
Got him.
Got him. Yeah, no, I will. That was something I commented on. I watched my episodes with Nonagon, and that was something I commented on as we were watching. Was just kind of, I haven't watched any Kamen Rider from this era specifically, but I've watched some I've watched a little bit of Sentai from this era and adjacent some early '90s stuff, and just. I got this kind of warm, fuzzy nostalgia of yes, TV from this era when we knew a little bit more what we were doing, but we weren't 100% sure just yet.
Man, were they trying?
They were making attempts.
I respect it. I respect the effort.
same. And one of the questions that is in the back of my mind throughout this entire thing is, wow, these are really cool concepts. Will they do anything with them?
Tune in and find out.
Yeah. Therein lieth the rub, dear Hamlet.
Yeah.
I almost want to say they won't, because Kamen Rider Black Sun exists, and I feel like that's probably where they're like, oh yeah, we can actually use these concepts that we set up in the original, but maybe that's too cynical.
Perhaps.
I hope I'm wrong.
Let us retain our hope early on, so it can be crushed over time.
Well,
Exactly.
I mean, there's so much good that's holding this up, so if our hope does get crushed, it'll be all the more fun, I think.
Fun, huh? Okay, that's fair.
I like having
A
fun.
little smattering of despair is good every now and then.
Exactly.
Um,
Yeah.
Which, one of these things that we'll notice right off the bat is it's drenched in that neon 80s vibe. I adore it. Given its similar time frame of release, Godzilla 84 feels like it was filmed the same way, with it wanted the same shots, and I know that's just it's such a ubiquitous thing throughout that kind of time period, but I still find it interesting, and I wonder if there was any overlap of the crew, given how tight-knit tokusatsu can get.
They're both Toho properties. There's a very good chance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is.
Was Kamen Rider Toho, or I thought it was Toei?
Oh, yes, you're right. I'm sorry. Kamen Rider is Toei.
My brain, what have you done?
I'm so sorry.
No, you are correct. My brain misremembered.
I have made that mix up myself, which is the only reason I remember.
Okay, yes, okay.
Godzilla
Godzilla is Toho. Kamen Rider is Toei. Yeah.
Toho Project.
Even still, I'm hoping there's some overlap because, well, actually, I say that, but I actually know with some research that I've done that there are some art directors who I can't remember their names at the moment, but I do believe they worked on some Godzilla films, so
yeah,
it would make a lot of sense.
Yeah,
love to see it.
Similar businesses.
Exactly. I was going to say this is a pretty specific set of skills that you need a crew to be able to do in order to make these shows and these movies. So, the notion of there being a fair amount of overlap as far as who you would hire for that sort of thing.
Special effects and monster suits.
Yeah.
Very large Venn diagram overlap here.
Yeah, for sure. With all of those, I think initial thoughts out of the way, shall we get stuck right into it with our first episode?
Ooh, yes.
Get your nose in it.
Actually,
what?
I have one more initial thought. This is very fun. One of the things that the last initial thought that I want to mention is Kamen Rider Black's color scheme. Because it is black and yellow with, smatterings of red for eyes and such. And interestingly, I learned this just prior to recording that, that's grasshoppers actually turn that color when they get enraged, basically. So it's really, really cool to see that visual cohesion already starting to form. It was, or this particular finding for me anyway came from a pre-production special that was shown in the Blu-ray box set. And where Ishinomori was talking about, here's, what grasshoppers do when they start to kind of gain energy. And I mean, it's stated as gets mad, but it's mostly just they bump into each other and then it's like, oh my god, people exist. And then they become a swarm, hive mind kind of deal. But I still think that's very interesting that we have that direct inspiration, and especially because, as we will see, and as I mentioned slightly, that there is a little bit more focus and a bit more energy placed in the body horror of things. And so to have the grasshopper motif with colors up front already within the suit is really cool.
Yeah, it's nice to see more of Ishinomori's ideas get carried into this than we got to see with Ichigo, wherein, we complained ad nauseum how interested we were in his original concept that seemed to get dropped off the face of the earth within the first 10 episodes. I find it funny that, referencing another Blu-ray feature, we will be referencing bonus features from the Blu-ray. This is where we're getting our material, so we can get, cool... reliable extra features that allegedly a tremendous amount of the original pitch was just not utilized anyway.
Yeah, they dumped 90% of it and they're like, this isn't good for television.
Which is wild, given, as we'll get into, Black feels like it's already carrying more than Ichigo did.
They definitely picked and showed, everything I read, everything I can glean from that statement is yes, they picked the 3 things they needed to present, and I think that was probably the best idea in the long run. Just historically, it was just the right call. But yeah, it's great to see that none of that ever really leaves the table, though.
Yeah, and also that if you watch another one of our podcast specials, a lot of this apparently got put right into Shin Kamen Rider Prologue.
Which makes a lot of sense when you think about it.
read that, instantly understood. I was like, oh yeah, this is all that shit. Cool.
Yeah, prior to reading that, because I read the we are currently referencing specifically the long ago 20th century essay by Mike Dent from the Blu-ray, and I was watching the episodes before reading this essay, and I was typing in multiple points of the notes. I'm like, I wonder if there are similar writers that... I wonder if this is where the idea for Shin Kamen Rider was born, because... or Shin Kamen Rider Prologue was born because, like, it's Kamen Rider Black RX, and then it's Kamen Rider Prologue. So I was curious about, if the writing was similar or anything like that, and how much inspiration was taken from it, which, with the essay mentioning that it uses Ishinomori's original treatment for a lot of concepts in Prologue, that was confirmed right there as well. Also with the fact that there are some writers for Black that worked on Shin Kamen Rider Prologue, and also the person, Joe Odonara, was another co-writer on Prologue, who was, according to the Kamen Rider wiki, so I couldn't find much more sources on that, but according to that, he is the person who really pushed for the motif of Kamen Rider being a grasshopper. And it's cool to see that, like, this guy is like, no, Kamen Rider should be a grasshopper, and some of the writers for Black eventually taking the original ideas of the series and making it into something else. But perhaps that's getting a bit ahead of ourselves.
Maybe a touch, but yeah, it's definitely cool to kind of see what made it from Ishinomori's original idea to Black, and then what was left on the cutting room floor, and then brought over to Shin Prologue. It's cool to see how that all panned out. That being said, let's go ahead and finally start talking about these episodes, shall we?
Yeah.
Sounds good.
So we are going to start with episode 1, Black Transformation. Original air date October 4th, 1987. As we were doing with the second half of the Kuga podcast, since we don't have full-on plots, we're just going to go ahead and go through a quick synopsis of what happens in the episode, and we'll go ahead and talk about it. So, from the Kamen Rider Wiki, Kotaro Minami, a youth on the run from the mysterious organization known as Golgum, begins to awaken into a horrifying new form granted to him due to their greater plans for him, making him choose to use it instead to fight as Kamen Rider Black. So we've got we open. Cool thing about Kamen Rider Black that you're gonna find out if you watch this show. The only place that we open is in media res. We don't open anywhere else.
We have no time. We gotta get to the shit.
These opens are not cold. These opens are fucking Arctic.
They turn the walk-in freezer to a walk-in house.
Yeah.
Wait.
I live here now.
Yeah, we live in these cold opens for sure.
We got it's so fun seeing an older show still have such a, like, I don't know, something about the Ichigo was so, like, barren compared to Kuga in this, because they get deep into the Metropolitan Gorilla footage where people are, like, looking at the camera and shit.
I saw that.
Yeah.
The guy was like, what? And, like, actually doing scenes with him, like, running through crowds, and, like, those people weren't fucking paid. Like, they just grabbed a camera and ran.
Yeah, no, it's I definitely understand your meaning because yeah, a lot of Ichigo is shot out in like countrysides or like
Small
abandoned,
towns.
small towns,
Yeah.
abandoned areas, places that they were able to clear out very easily, and so and even Kuga to an extent, while there are a lot of cityscapes and a lot of city shots and everything, there are also lots of parts of it where, even though they are shooting in the city, it is still it's cleared out of anyone else that they couldn't pay to be on set, as it were. So having
With a
this
couple
one,
exceptions for sure.
right? Yeah. So having this one be so very deeply entrenched in like we are in the city, we are surrounded by the people. Is super
And there
cool.
are space wizards.
Yeah, and they are
walking up buildings
who are green screened to shit.
Oh my god.
Wizard is
So
the right
here's
word for it too.
here's my hot take.
Hit me with it.
This looks better than Kuga.
Okay, so no, I don't think that's a hot take because I think that's also true.
I think this shit is shockingly held up. Especially on Blu-ray.
Yeah,
it has a certain
much...
flair. Sorry.
I don't know how much we can really judge it necessarily because I don't know what the original looks like. But the Blu-ray does make it look really crisp. Like,
well, it would just look fuzzier, which would honestly make it look better, probably. It's not seamless. But something about it is still it's still kind of clean. Like the way they implement it.
Yeah.
Style direction, I think, is a lot of it.
Everything is very purposeful, and they really wanted to use this gimmick of their wacky green screen like stuff into scenes.
They're spooky ghost wizards.
Yeah, it was so neat.
Which, I mean, admittedly, that might actually be why it looks better than Kuga, because Kuga was at the very beginning of CGI, whereas
the experimental CG effects.
It's true. This is definitely because this is still physical stuff being green screened in. So there's that, not your digital explosions.
They got so many people on board who knew exactly what they were doing.
A little bit, yeah. Like, it's exciting, and it's so funny because they just seem so excited to use that effect at every opportunity.
It doesn't stop being good, though.
Yeah, and it actually, like this is, I think, getting ahead to the next episode, but it they use it to different effects, like, to convey different things. And that's neat. It started off on such a good foot, even though we're just, like, so in media res, like we couldn't possibly know what we're fucking doing, but we're doing psychic slams into billboards. We're shooting laser beams. We're having glowing eyes.
One of our bad guys is I can't believe it's not MF Doom.
I was thinking the exact fucking thing.
I knew you would.
Thank you.
Oh, green face. I get no kick from champagne.
I legit have it like. I had nicknames in my head and I wish I wrote them down, but like one of them was straight up, it's like Bargain Bin MF Doom.
Yep.
I don't know what. Oh yeah, Sheev Palpatine, Bargain Bin MF Doom, and Lady from a Go Nagai manga.
Yes.
God.
I think you and I both, like, at the same time, I called him Count Dooku and you called him Palpatine at like the exact same time while we were watching.
It's he's so crusty.
So crusty.
So
I love that his lips don't move.
Yeah. I think he was one of the ones that was supposed to move.
They do sometimes, but he has to really be working the mouth.
Yeah.
Like that fucking naked snake riding mask tech. We couldn't make the lips move on that one, sorry.
I am just endeared to this entire opening sequence. It is about as 80s as the lighting can get in the best possible way. You've got like the neon backlights, of course. Like I am enamored with how different the lighting setup in this entire show is, especially in this opening sequence compared to Ichigo, and even, frankly, Kuga to some extent.
Mm-hmm.
It is just very, very good.
And maybe this is just some very specific aesthetic appreciations on my end, but I think that this is as you had mentioned, a very 80s, and so it's very stylistic, and you're not going to get much on an art direction wise that isn't something exactly like this from this era. So yeah, it's so good.
It's high quality. Everything about this opening really does rule. Even our our weird tube operating table.
Whatever that thing was, yeah.
I can hang with it. And the laser claw surgery.
Yeah.
That shit, like, this is all cool as hell. I'm just gonna let you. I kind of appreciate that laser claw, like, coming into play in the rescue of it, just of it actually interacting with how he escapes. I think that's just kind of like a level of that's a level of, like, forethought in production, right?
Yeah.
Of just like, he's gonna have straight beams coming out of his claws, and then those are gonna go everywhere and cut a bunch of ropes.
Oh, his cool, like, crystal glass claws. Already,
Girl,
I'm
where
really
you get your nails did?
Yeah, she got her nails did. She looking good. I'm very endeared already to the design work in this show. I also really, really need to see Kotaro, our protagonist's name is Kotaro, sorry. I really need to see him with a Pepsi.
For real.
So true.
Shocked there isn't, like, a big neon Pepsi sign in any of this footage. It's insane.
Yeah.
Or at least, like, a Kodak.
Right, yeah.
I think, as we're talking about the aesthetics and all of that, we should probably bring up the music, because I think we've already mentioned that it's good in passing, but, like, it also is very 80s. You've got, like, slap basses, synthesizers, like, that go from, like, the kind of, generic or more standard synth keys to, like, sparkles. It's just great. I think I need this soundtrack already.
Yeah, I was very enamored with the soundtrack when we were watching, and yeah, that was something I took specific notes to. I don't think we play regular bass in the show at all. It's all slap bass, and it rules.
Seinfeld opening.
Speaking of the music, we should take just a brief sojourn to, I think, before, I'm like 99% sure this episode does do its opening like normal.
It does.
Yes,
it's first.
at the very beginning.
Yeah, so we should talk about our theme song.
Yes.
What were thoughts on people's what were people's thoughts on the theme song? I very much so enjoyed it.
I love being alive.
I love being alive.
Love being alive. Love the return of the actor playing the protagonist singing the theme song. Yeah. Unironically super cool, and I wish that happened more often.
It's very charming.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's a great singer, but I'm very charmed by it.
Yeah, it's the vibe that's more important. He's breaking through a window in the beginning, and that's important.
Setting the tone instantly.
Yeah, we will definitely come back to that at some point, but just remember that I love the cinematic opening, though. The shots of him
very good.
At the beginning, like the door silhouetted entirely as he walks into the warehouse and mounts the bike is so cool. After that is largely your standard footage after he breaks out of the window, but it looks better than ever, at least.
and then someone had a really good idea and said, what if we drove through this tunnel with the lights on?
I have a conspiracy theory, or I call that a conspiracy theory, but I don't think it's actually that much of a conspiracy about that shot.
What is it?
Yes?
I had mentioned that Bandai had a bit of a hand in some of the design work.
More than before.
And in the essay that was in the Blu-ray collection, it stated that the light on the bike, belt, and action figure lit up. So I think they're like, drive them through this dark tunnel, have not only get the shot of this darkness that just looks really good, but also prime that to be like, yeah, we're gonna have glow-in-the-dark toys.
You know, honestly, I would not be surprised if that wasn't the case. But it's used to great effect because it really is an awesome shot. And yeah, I can imagine as a little kid watching that, I would be looking for the bike with the eyes that light up in the dark. Yeah.
Yeah, it's extremely cool is the thing.
It's
Black.
true.
Yeah. Ooh, the flair. Ooh, the style. Crystal Pepsi.
Yeah.
So true.
Sorry, this show just makes me think of Pepsi.
No, that's fair. It's so of its time is the thing.
Yeah,
So,
in
like,
the
I
way the
understand.
80s things do.
Yeah, Pepsi is truly like the most 80s soda I can think of because it was just like they were at their like strongest marketing pushes.
Yeah.
So like anytime you watch media in the 80s, Pepsi wants to get their fucking hands in there because Coke
Yeah.
needs to die.
Pepsi was the hip new soda for the youth, for the cool kids. Whereas Coca-Cola was like the classic traditional soda, or at least that was the historical direction of their marketing. I'm not going down that rabbit hole though. We're talking about Kamen Rider.
We're talking about Kamen Rider.
It's true. But damn, do I want a Pepsi?
Yeah, I we've said it enough times. I could fuck up a Pepsi right now.
Could go for a Crystal
$50
Pepsi.
million
Yeah.
on the Patreon, and B will do a Pepsi video essay.
B will do the Pepsi challenge.
I'll do it for $5 million. What a
Dang.
bargain.
Insane.
I'll do it for $15.
Sold!
Yeah.
I do think the ending tunnel shot though is another interesting point of how this is styled, because with this tunnel shot and the beginning of the silhouette and then the cold open at night, we are once again going back to what Ichigo did and playing a lot with shadows and lighting and contrast.
Mm-hmm.
And I had it in my notes that I'm like, I don't think this is intentional. It's probably just like, 80s did that a lot, whatever. But reading that it was a reboot, I am curious to see how much of that was intentional, because maybe I'm just putting too much stock on it, but I really think that was some of the more standout moments in Ichigo. And
No, for sure.
I'm just curious if that was an intent, and if it is, will it kind of continue more than it did in the 71 series?
Let us find out.
Yeah, here's hoping. I mean, there's definitely, just to kind of piggyback off of what Nanagan was saying to the next kind of thing I wanted to talk about, we talk about how they play with like shadows and lighting and contrast, and for instance, our first transformation is up against very high contrast. What were folks? How were people feeling about that one? I thought it was very
fascinating.
Cool. Yeah,
They threw him through a damn wall, and he transformed.
The conked Crete conked him on the head just right.
And we got this. Oh, yep. Go ahead.
please.
I do very much appreciate the intermediary phase of his transformation that they put in here, and
I had the same thought.
assume along the lines of like the body horror stuff. He has it's largely silhouetted. We don't get to see it much, but he is a bug alien creature for a minute.
Yeah.
Zol looking at. No, wait, no. What was the other one? Who's that other
Ambassador
guy?
Hell.
Yeah.
Ambassador Hell looking at.
You're probably thinking about our cockroach boy.
Yeah, a little bit. Like, you know, he's Cockroach
Scubbles out.
Jr. for a second.
He was with the helmet.
Yeah.
That sort of helmet silhouette.
It's interesting. I wonder, as someone who hasn't watched any of this, I'm fascinated if that will come into play later. If that's a tease of some kind.
Mm. Yeah, that's a good question, because I know we get, I believe it is in this episode as well, where we get a brief shot of someone who is, if you've been in the Kamen Rider fandom for an amount of time, you've probably heard this name before, Shadow Moon. We get a brief shot of him kind of bugifying in his cocoon. So
it's true. Rotating in my head.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Move over, rotating, baby. We got a new thing to rotate.
For real.
Get my stream a new GIF.
Just put them side by side. Who rotates better?
Who rotates faster? Yeah, it's a race. But yeah, very very curious to see how much the Bugman aspect is going to come up. It is cool to see that in this one, Kamen Rider is. I like that they have taken the original Kamen Rider origins, because this is kind of a throwback, and so he is a cyborg again. But also they've been able to add in that Ishinomori body horror that he really wanted, of like, oh shit, it's a freak ass bug man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of a half transformation, because we definitely it's that tease into the final fight of the episode, because like this is all like the first like 5 minutes. It's just
Something
like
that, yeah.
I am being chased by wizards. Hey, oh right, I'm a Kamen Rider. Get fucked, idiots. And they all go like, oh, we gotta go. Actually,
speaking of which, I would just like to briefly mention the amount of things the wizards do to him before his first transformation.
For real.
Yeah.
Including throwing him into a neon sign,
that was cool
throwing
as
him
hell.
through the roof of a warehouse into a ton of boxes, repeatedly slamming him against a bunch of wooden crates, and throwing him through a concrete wall. This all happens before his first transformation.
He's a cyborg freak. It's okay.
Yeah, Kamen Rider's tough.
Yeah, they did look at him dead in the eye and say, hey, if you were like a normal person, this would have killed you already.
Mm.
Oh yeah.
But you're not a normal person. You're a candidate to become king of the cyborgs.
And we gotta take your brain out. Why don't we do this first? I don't know. We still don't have that one down to a science.
Like, okay.
They never do it first. I don't know why.
It's just so funny.
Right?
This is not even the first time this has happened. It's so funny. And also,
Why can't these evil organizations do this first? Is it required? Do they need your will to make you better?
Maybe it's
that
just
would be
because
cool, but I doubt it.
Yeah, I doubt it too. I think they're just dumb. I think all these guys might be the dumbest villains in the world.
You know, that's fair. I was
I
maybe
wrote-
about to
I
give
wrote
them
a-
too much credit.
I wrote a note about that for a future episode, but I'll just say it here. These guys might be the dumbest Kamen Rider villains we've watched ever.
The thing is,
And
I
I'm
kind
including
of love
the
them.
Nazis.
They feel like they're increasingly becoming Team Rocket to me.
Yeah. God, a little.
Oh, yeah.
Not to like ruin their imposing introduction within us describing the first episode, but it will not last, I promise.
Okay.
Their schemes are just so silly. Or they come across silly. I guess they aren't silly. They do some fucked up shit. But like the way they talk about their schemes feels like Saturday morning cartoons, which sure, it's
Yeah.
Kamen Rider, but like I guess they have a better, grander scheme, but you kind of forget that they have a grander scheme sometimes because it sounds like they just are like, ooh, it sounds dastardly. They'll hate that. I love this because it's bad.
Which,
that kind of thing.
To me, I didn't write this till episode 2, but since we're, painting the pictures, one of my notes that I still agree with wholeheartedly is Golgom can be evil all you want, but I can't help but you're thinking your asses belong in Sailor Moon. What are you gonna do? Teach a 14-year-old a lesson?
Oh, they do.
A little bit.
They do feel like Sailor Moon villains.
They are
You're
very
so right.
Sailor Moon villains.
Oh my god.
We have
You
a
think
tiny bit of lore. We have a tiny bit of lore with like them, needing some sort of crystals and stones, and I'm just like, you're just Sailor Moon villains. Oh my god.
It's possible that this was one of the more direct inspirations. The author of Sailor Moon has said that she was inspired by like tokusatsu. I think she usually says Super Sentai, but
yeah, for sure. I mean, hey, Sailor Moon, the anime was Toei.
This is true.
Not that really means a whole lot, but I'm just saying. The DNA. There could feasibly be a crossover, is all I'm saying.
I want that crossover.
Same.
Except I feel a little bad sometimes when I think about how almost all of these girls are 14 years old, and I don't want to expose them to the horrors of war, but
they already kind of did.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm not saying they don't in canon. I'm saying they shouldn't, and we should feel bad about it.
Yeah, alright, that's fair.
Yeah.
Listen, if they have to endure this horrors of wars, can they at least do it with Kamen Rider? Their good friend.
Yeah, he's going to like become their big brother and protect them with
better than Tuxedo Mask.
Yeah,
true.
What a rube.
Okay, I am crafting a theory or a terrible good. You decide fan fiction in my head of
Genius.
Goro becomes a Kamen Rider and teams up with the Sailor Scouts.
Sold.
There
I will
it is.
take
Totaro should have been Goro.
entire stock. Yeah.
This should have been grown up Goro.
I wouldn't be against it. I wouldn't be against it in the slightest.
This man better not ever eat a banana on screen or we will all go insane.
Yeah. We will lose our minds.
For multiple reasons.
What? Okay. Yeah.
Well, I mean...
Yeah, okay. There you go. It clicked into place.
No, I just... Wait. Never mind, I'm overthinking it now. We gotta go.
We gotta go.
We have to proceed in the episode.
Anyways, they ran away.
Yeah, so old Kamen Rider chases them off, which means it's time to turn back into a human. And when you've just turned into a cyborg, and then you turn back into your human form, what's it time for? That's right, transhumanism.
Oh. I thought you were saying Miller time. Because he heads right to the fucking bar that's in his house. The insane liquor cabinet.
Yeah, the liquor bookshelf.
Yeah, God, how much does this family drink? It is literally no exaggeration. It looks like a bookshelf full of liquor.
It's like
this thing is huge.
A floor to ceiling.
Yeah,
like,
it is a whole wall.
That is just and all of it's full.
Yeah, fucking rich people.
Yeah,
like,
really.
Yeah.
Like it is well established in coming episodes that their family comes from money for reasons that we are going to find out in this episode. But it's like, yeah, come on, drink some of that. Though that said, transhumanism and Miller time, he is too much of a cyborg freak. He can't even hold a cold one.
He can't crack open the cold one with the boys.
Who is he gonna crack open a cold one with now?
What is he supposed to do with the boys?
What is
tragic?
Yeah.
I mean,
you hate to see it.
I'm sure
that's why he hangs out with his sister. Sorry, go on.
No, I was gonna just say, I'm sure he can still do plenty with the boys.
No.
Not until he learns to control it.
Yeah. But if Top Gun has taught me anything, it is that there are plenty of ways to be playing with the boys.
Speaking of which,
The opposite of boys.
yeah, I was going to bring up our mystery character now, who has now been not really introduced. So we get Kotoro's little sister, and I guess if we want to we didn't talk about the plot specific. But I guess we'll get into that later. Whatever. We meet his little sister, and we meet another woman. This woman gives literally no indication of anything regarding her identity. I initially thought she was like a nanny or like an assistant or something, because she arrives on the scene with the little sister. She drove her home, and they both arrived to the home together. I will tell you her identity now, because the show doesn't tell you. She's Nobuhiko's girlfriend.
Huh?
Actually?
Yes.
I thought that
Kotaro's
was
brother,
his mom.
Nobuhiko.
Oh.
Yeah, we straight up thought it was his mom for a second, and then no. And then it became even more mysterious who she was, because he just kept hanging around.
Where the fuck is his mom then?
Yeah, so as you can tell by everyone's reactions, there's no indication that of who she is or what she's doing around here. So I just had to look it up, and I'm just letting everyone know, because I don't know if or when we are going to find out what she's doing here otherwise. So here you go. She's Nobuhiko's girlfriend. That's why she hangs around. She's kind of, honorary part of the family for that reason.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure. That makes sense.
It is so funny how no information. This is what I was describing, truly, because it's just like, she's here. You have to accept that now. Who is she? Not even a name. Who is she? Who care?
I'm actually not even. I don't recall them even giving her name, admittedly.
I don't think they do.
I don't think she does.
Is she this
her
Katsumi
name
Kida I see here?
Yeah, Katsumi Kida. That is who she is. The only thing she does in the scene, I don't think this is an indication of their relationship, but she asks where Nobuhiko was, which gives off no information whatsoever outside of she knows who all is in this family and wonders where the only remaining child is.
That's why I thought it was the mom.
That's so fair, though.
Especially with what we learned, like, from the second episode, it would make so much sense for it to be the mom. Wow.
Nah.
Anyway, for reasons that are based in a previous scene, the reason our friend Kotaro has gone back to his home is he is looking for his father, who has left him a note that he's hiding out and that you need to go find him. He's put on his bucket hat disguise. He's hidden himself amongst the B-boys.
God.
I love the bucket hat. It kills the vibe a little bit.
It really
It's
does.
so funny. He's about to unleash the dark secrets of this goddamn Run DMC thing.
It's tricky.
Check
to
if
sell
that man's
your
wearing
soul.
Adidas.
Yeah. Shall we get into the dark secrets?
Yes, let's get into the dark secrets. So we got a couple of dark secrets that we have to reveal. Dark secret number 1: Kotaro's adopted. Dun dun dun.
Choose how you're born, good baby or evil baby.
Yeah. Dark secret number 2: Kotaro and I believe his brother Nobuhiko were born on the day of a full eclipse. Dun dun dun.
Apparently at the same time, too.
Dun dun dun.
They are exact twins, despite not having genetic
Twinsies.
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 Dark secret number 3: our dad character, whose name I don't remember,
Yeah.
sold
Don't worry about
essentially sold his soul to Golgum for research funds, which, like,
Well, you see, yeah. I had to consider all my options,
Yeah.
right? We had to consider all his options when working with Nazi Illuminati wizards. And then they offered him a lot of money.
They offered him so much money, and also
he was like,
we
well,
won't
shit,
murder you.
all right. Yeah, sure, all right.
Yeah, I love.
Yeah.
I love. Hey, you know what? The opening got it right. I love being alive.
There's nothing I love more than being alive.
Yeah.
I would like to also point out that Kataro's father says that it was, it started 19 years ago, which would have put it at 1968, which there was a solar eclipse
nice.
on the September 22nd. So I thought that
There
was
you go.
really nice.
Yeah. The dad's name, as far as I know, I don't think we get his first name, so
Yeah,
he's credited as Professor Akizuki.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the incredibly familiar scenarios of, oh, hey, father figure scientist, man. Oh, and he stops the surgery from going to the final stage where they mind control him. Oh, yeah.
Speaking of which,
Is that a spider?
regarding their backstory, he didn't do a very good job of hiding things because, as far as we know, from the very beginning, our protagonist's name is Kotaro Minami, not Kotaro Akizuki.
You're adopted. What? I thought you just gave me a different last name for fun.
Yeah, so there you go.
So yeah, do with that what you will.
Yeah, it's spider time though.
It is.
I mean,
spider
nobody has said Kotaro is smart, let alone have a 500 IQ.
He's got gumption, and he says Yamero really well.
He's got some
Yamero's
all-timer
so
Yamero!
It's so good.
And he's got morals and convictions, which is I think maybe the most important part of this scene.
He wears vintage cut jeans real well.
Also that, yeah, and he has a really nice gray jacket.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
But he never doesn't wear it. But yeah, I love this confrontation with his dad because it's like, oh, I told you all the dark truth, and he's just like, you fucking idiot! I'm going to fight until I'm dead. That's what you have to do against evil.
So true.
That's it. End of sentence. He's done. He's done here.
Hell yeah.
Turns to leave, sees that the whole place is encased in spider webs now suddenly, and he's like, oh no.
It's a spirit Halloween again.
That time of year, huh?
I should have known better than to meet him in an abandoned building.
Yeah, they're already setting up shop. Look at all this cotton. Anyways, traditions.
Yeah, traditions. It's time to get attacked by some Spider-Men, which,
multiple.
Holy shit, these Spider-Men.
They're pretty good.
These suits rule.
We have 5 in total this time.
Yeah, we got 5 Spider-Men in some good-ass Spider-Man suits. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to really find anything else to say about these suits other than that they are extremely good. That and oh, go ahead.
I guess I feel like this is, as our first monster, they give a good impression of our increased dedication to body horror. My first thing that I noticed that I love is that the head design is a spider's head, like, that appears as if like a human's face has emerged out of its mouth.
Yes.
Yeah.
But the human mouth is a spider mouth.
Yeah.
It's great.
Taking some of those H.R. Geiger notes.
True.
Oh man. Yeah, they're all like kitted up. They got the multiple limbs. They got different kinds of hair, kind of.
Yes.
Also bursting from their spider heads.
They're freaks, every one of them.
Honestly, I think, like, at least these suits, I feel like these are some of the best we've seen.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're so dimensional. They're not just a rubber suit conforming to just the human body. It's
Mostly.
I mean, it's for,
These ones specifically, sure. Yeah, like sorry.
these
I was looking
ones.
ahead.
I have words to say about some of the others we'll get to.
Oh boy.
Love that guy.
But these ones, like, they have the abdomen of the spider. They've got all the limbs. As B said, they have the mouth and the really detailed head. And they really sell that exoskeleton vibe. It's just, wow, they did a lot of good work on these suits. They look amazing, truly.
Yeah.
Strong start.
You'd really hate to, like, go so far down in the ranks. If you messed up a suit really badly right after this one, that'd stink.
Well, we'll have to worry about that bridge when we get there.
Yeah, burn that bridge when we cross it.
For now, though, it's time for a classic trope.
It's time to do a
Yeah,
henshin.
the traditions keep happening. Also,
oh wait,
that
actually, but you're right. Before we do a henshin, we have to murder a dad.
yeah.
It's very important that we murder a dad, so that way Kotaro has no parents? Question mark.
Yeah, I don't know. We still don't really know about the mom, but
Yeah.
I guess
She might just be dead.
She might just be dead,
She
is the
might
thing,
just be
which
dead.
I guess would be easier for them
Yeah.
as writers.
If she just died a natural death.
Yeah, it
I
was
mean,
completely unrelated to the space Nazis.
Yeah.
yeah, it
Wizards.
happens.
Sometimes
But yeah,
people die.
we once again have the professor who turned our Kamen Rider, but helped them escape, get killed by the very organization that they both assisted and were manipulated by.
Wild to think that when you help an evil organization, you die
Didn't
for
melt
it.
them though.
Didn't
Oops,
melt
they did suck him like a Capri Sun and throw him off a tower,
Little bit.
which was pretty cool.
They sure did.
And my man Kamen Rider made the catch like a fucking college football superstar.
He did.
With the dive, yeah.
I was kind of surprised
it
that
was
he
not
died
enough.
anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess he got. Yeah, I guess the sucking was important, or
A little
something.
bit of a
I'm-
Spider-Man moment.
A little bit.
Mm.
Death to Spider-Man via Spider-Man
Gasp.
in the lens of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
It's,
It doesn't look like he broke the fall that much.
Yeah, also
Yeah.
there's that. He was in his mere normal body that can take him huge beating.
You can only take 50,000 volts.
like,
What a
well,
bitch.
he really only like grabbed half of him though. Like
Yeah, that too.
half of the body did just slam on the concrete.
Yeah, this is more of an
Bonk.
assisted power bomb.
God.
But yeah, and then it's time for Henshin. Sorry, epileptics.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
So, as Nonagon had mentioned before, the Bandai tie-in being such a prominent feature of this show, one of the pieces of merch released for this show, as most Kamen Rider shows have even up until this point, is the Henshin belt, and the one made for this show reacts to certain light effects. So it will react to like the flashing light effects when Kotaro transforms into Kamen Rider Black. And I've got to say, they sure don't make it hard for the belts to pick up on the light effects.
Nope. Oh
I'm-
man.
I'm concerned for the children of Japan in early October 1987.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah. It's okay. Give them a decade, then they'll really, then they'll really get fucked.
And in the Blu-ray edition that we are watching our episodes off of, they do edit the transformation sequence for the episodes, and they have a bonus feature of the original unedited transformation sequence. They toned it down for us as we're watching the episodes, and it's still a lot. And I think I was the only one who had watched the bonus feature before watching the episodes. So
right.
How were you all feeling after seeing that?
I couldn't really tell a huge difference with the actual Henshin, but they definitely cut it down for a later, because some of the attacks at the end of this fight too are they just straight strobe the screen.
Yeah.
It's just like, no, we can't be doing that much.
I did not watch the attacks prior to the episodes, but I did watch the transformation. And the original transformation, it is fascinating because there's just so much. It's so much flashing. Like,
and the
you
toned
like
down
flashing
one,
red and blue lights.
yeah, the toned down one isn't like it's still a little rough.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
it definitely became that Elden Ring meme a couple times. just
Squints.
Get flashbanged, idiot. It's time for a
Yeah.
cool action scene. I think the rest of the aesthetics of this Henshin are fucking awesome, though.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Yes.
it's such a good one.
It's extremely good if you can survive it.
If you can survive. I feel like maybe we should put like a general content warning if people are listening to this pre the show,
Yeah.
pre-watching it, if that's your style. Yeah, content warning, flashing lights. This shit is
Photosensitivity off the charts.
Yeah.
Warning. Your
Seriously.
discretion is advised.
Put some shades on. When that man says Henshin, you put the shades on.
Yeah.
Put
cover
the
your
eclipse
eyes.
glasses on.
Yeah.
so you can look at the Henshin directly.
See no evil.
I think it is like, if you've ever seen a live concert of like some really heavy speed metal, consider like what those lights do. And how
Have you
they're
ever watched the
programmed.
Metalocalypse opening?
Yeah.
God.
It's yeah. Please be careful. It's dangerous out in these streets, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Very quickly. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. No, go on.
I just wanted to take a brief sojourn before we talked about this extremely good Kamen Rider suit. I just wanted to take a brief sojourn to talk about the actual like posing that our human person does. Because this is like one of the iconic henshins. It's like this one and like the original Ichigo one, and there are like a few Heisei ones that are pretty well known. But this is like one of those like big ones that people talk about, and I can understand why, because I absolutely adore this henshin. The like flex pose thing that he does at the beginning, I love that shit. It is so incredibly the thing I like.
The Righteous Fury.
Yeah, it rules. And oh, go ahead.
I would also really appreciate, and it's not entirely visible in this particular henshin, but he's got the, we've mentioned the jacket, and it's quite puffy compared to the jeans. So it gives him a unique silhouette as he does it as well, that amplifies the arms and the posing. It's good stuff.
It's so good, yeah. And
thing I like about the fight scene in general, and the effects behind it, is we get the extremely 80s keyed in lightning and shit effects with some of the
lights
attacks
on the webbing, and
yeah, that too.
on his eyes as well sometimes.
Sometimes his eyes, his punches, the webbing, just anything they want to do. I love that effect so much.
It's good.
I can't say it stands up, but for some reason it does. Like, it's very of its time fake, but like in a way that is like, when people use it, it's always in something very fantastical. So like, my suspension of disbelief is like perfectly lined up for that kind of special effect.
Mm-hmm.
And every time I see it, I'm just charmed by by how fun it makes a scene look.
Mm-hmm.
Shout outs to a movie we all watched, The Last Dragon.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Which used those to like maybe some of the best effect I've seen in a movie, like lovingly animated. Their cool crackles of red and like yellow energy in the final fight.
Yeah.
Last Dragon fucking owns.
Last
It's
Dragon
a movie
is so
that can
good.
never be made again, and that's fine.
There only needs to be one Last Dragon.
It was the last one.
It's the last one. Yeah, it's the last one. Like, come on.
So,
But yeah,
so
it
you're
was
telling me this is
so
the 16th
delightful.
Final Fantasy? Yeah, this fight scene is great. And the suit is, this is a top 5 suit for sure.
Mm-hmm.
The black suit is just so, it's one of those things where like you might be begrudging to say it because you don't want to give them the credit, but damn, Bandai did a good job.
They knocked it out of the park.
They really fucking did.
It turns out the toy guys know how to make a fucking toyetic suit armor.
Yeah, who the fucking thunk? But the silhouette on the suit, I adore. And the incredibly simplistic color scheme is so incredibly to its advantage. In a way that might not have been the case for another Kamen Rider in like another kind of a suit. I also want to give especially a highlight to the like breaks in the suit where they had to like put joints so that shit could move.
Yeah.
And the fact that they, instead of just like covering that in black latex or whatever, they decided to like make it look all fucking fleshy.
Yeah.
Muscle texture.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure when to bring that up because, like, this, I don't remember what happens in this episode, but in future ones, they make that shit so apparent, and it's looking like a fucking Burger King advertisement. we are smoking.
Yeah.
We are hot off the grill.
God, yeah.
With the
I feel like
flesh.
the DNA of this design carries pretty strongly into Kuga's designs more
and
than like,
Shin
any other
Kamen Rider
design I've seen.
Prologue.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's those joints are where I most was like, yes,
Black's
definitely did
children, those two.
100%. Yeah. I mean, even especially just like talking about like the philosophy of this suit dripping into other, later Kamen Riders. If you look at the other two 90s movie writers, Zo and Jo, their suits are silhouetted very much in the same way. Their helmets are near identical, other than like certain color scheme and like placement things. Very similar with the like kind of vertical mouth grill thing that they do. It is one of those things where you can tell they realized they had a fucking banger in this suit, and they milked it as many times as they possibly could, and I don't decry them for that even in the slightest. Because
that suit was oh, sorry, I was just gonna say that suit was so good they had to use it in a whole different show.
Yeah, basically.
It's
It's-
Two of them, actually.
and yet
But that's a
I
discussion
still
for
think,
another day.
I still think the original Black versus Jay and Zo is the stronger.
For sure. It's
It's hard to beat.
which not to knock the Jo or Zo suits in any way, shape, or form, because they are good, but this is a difficult suit to beat. This is a very difficult suit to beat. It's so it is iconic in its simplicity.
Yes, I think
in the
those are my
best way.
favorite kind of suits, honestly.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's almost kind of like the original, like the Silver Era Superman suit, in that like it's so perfectly stripped down so that there are like very specific elements that you can latch onto. You know, the way his accent colors are kind of just like on the trim of like the neck and the chest piece, and you know the way the armor is sectioned, and how like aside from, you know, the like once you get to the belt, there's really not much of anything kind of going down below the legs, but like not in a bad way, like in a way to like it, you know, it helps keep the belt as the focal point of the lower half of his body. It's yeah, no, it's just it is a damn good suit.
And of course, with the color stuff that I've mentioned as well, because like it's the inspiration is just it's one of those things that I'm going to just be obsessed over for probably longer than I should, because it's the kind of design decisions that I'm like, yes, this is great. Because like they to get to that color change, the grasshoppers will need to molt and shed their skin, so they have their own transformation to get to that, just as Katara does, and it's I love it. It's simple, but I love it.
Yeah, you know, sometimes it's the simple things that are the most impactful. But yeah, this is damn what a good suit. But yeah,
Good show.
good suit, good show. Good finisher. I forgot legitimately, and therefore was very much so delighted when I was reminded at the end of this episode that this Kamen Rider, oh, he punch.
Yeah.
He punch and kick, and
Punch
occasionally
and
chop.
kick. Yeah. I am
Spoiler
so
zone.
happy to know that we are going to be getting a bevy of Rider punches after the absolute drought that was Ichigo and Kuga, though to no fault of Kuga, because it's not like they were trying to change the formula on that one. But you know, Ichigo's gave us so many like cool alternative Rider finishers that then didn't ever come back.
Yeah, and then they said, nah, never mind.
Yeah, never mind. We're not going to do that. Yeah, just do the kick. So knowing that we are probably going to get at least a Rider punch in episode, most likely, I'm all about that, because I think the Rider punch is cool, and more people should do it. And also, there's one part where I believe he like Rider punches a spider, and the camera like zooms in on the impact, like as he's hitting. That was a great cut.
Bonk.
I wanted to actually emphasize the cuts because like it's, I don't know, they're pretty simple, but because they always tend to go with the motion of each action, like the actual camera moves in the direction of the line of motion, it feels a lot smoother than I think it should for as many cuts as they're using, which I thought was wonderful. And speaking of, to go back into the fight scene a little bit more,
Sure.
we do a lot with the actual, like, choreography of it all. There's a moment where Kamen Rider gets pretty much pinned down by, like, 5 of these spiders at the same time, and they have, like, him tied together in a web, and they're kind of just dancing around him, which not something that either Ichigo or Kuga has done something like. And it was so refreshing to see a group fight executed in a pretty like multifaceted way. Like it wasn't just like, oh, I'm gonna one person is gonna attack me and I'm gonna deal with one person and then the next guy. But it was, I think they used all of their actors pretty pretty well.
They were all getting in there.
Yeah.
And web swinging.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody got a hand on the ball, which is a lot more than you can say for certain person fights in other Kamen Riders.
Even.
Refreshing. Yeah, incredibly refreshing. Speaking of refreshments, I believe we are ready to go to the second episode.
I mean,
sad family reunion happens right after the fight.
With not mom.
Yeah.
I mean, there's actually a ton I could still talk about the fight. I'm gonna be honest, but
yeah, how about that fucking reverse footage implosion?
Yeah.
First of all,
unbelievably fun.
We get the reverse footage back. Not just in this episode, but there's multiple uses of it in the upcoming episodes we'll talk about.
Oh, they love reverse footage for various special effects, and it's great.
It's great. And I mentioned that like the spiders were dancing around Kamen Rider, but they also, in their movements, they just kind of dance around and jump around in general. Like I want to know what their directive or like directions were, because I feel like they might have just been like, yeah, act like a spider, and they just kind of like scurry around. It's kind of great.
Yeah.
And also emphasized in this fight is another use of the green screen. As Shakes had been saying, they use it for quite a bit of effects. One of which is that Kamen Rider calls the bike.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The bike we haven't talked about.
Yeah.
It came free with the powers.
Yeah. The battle hopper.
He reaches over gently as if he's about to stroke a dog, and he says, "Battle hopper." And I love him for that.
And that's all the information we get episode 1 until he summons it.
Yeah.
He jumps on the motorcycle, and the spiders are like, "Oh no, what's gonna happen?" And he just runs one of them over, and they use the.
That's what's going to happen, idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah. What did you think?
The way they use that green screen effect to just like send one guy flying at the screen, it was just.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
It's such.
Yeah, and they love to do the green screen jump on the bike because it's in the opening, and they whenever he does it in fights, they like to pull that because he's ramming at the screen with it and sending someone at the screen. It's great. It's great. You gotta use your tools, and they use that tool.
Yeah, they
so
do.
lovingly.
And speaking of things we've missed from Ichigo, with the reverse footage, we also get a ragdoll.
Yeah.
Kamen Rider throws one of them out the window, and we just have him like tackling a ragdoll. It's great.
It's another window for the counter. Ding.
Yep. Ding.
Yeah, we went through windows. We're going through windows plural in one episode, by the way.
Yeah.
It's great.
How many will we go through? Find out.
Yeah. To circle. Oh, go ahead.
No, I'll just end off on the fact that I really hope these fights stay as energetic as this one, because it's really nice. It's just like we had a lot of like fun battles with Kuga, but a lot of them were also just kind of real 1-2 kind of punches of just pretty weighty at times. Whereas this is just like, this is fun. This is silly. It's great. I love it.
Sure, my dad just died, but I'm having a great time.
Yeah, I love life.
There's nothing I love more than being alive.
Like my dad.
I guess to counter that sentiment also, since this is the first episode, we also got our first taste of the end credits song.
Oh, true, yeah.
Our somber walk away from the action.
Yeah, our 70s Hulk sad walking away music.
Before we get really into it, would we like to talk about the sad family reunion we had brought up?
I mean, there's not
Yeah, what if they
a
saw
lot
that guy?
to talk. Yeah,
Okay, fair enough.
the girls show up and they see a dad corpse, and then Kotaro shows up and he's like, "I'm sorry, a dad corpse."
I'm sorry, spider got him.
Spider.
There was a real big spider.
It was a huge spider. Don't worry, I got him.
But yeah.
Fair enough.
I just thought it might be important that
I
everybody
think-
knows
I-
that the whole family knows that the dad was murdered. That's all
It's
I'm
true.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it is,
agree.
that is actually important. You make an excellent point.
He is dead.
He is dead dead.
And we don't know what happened to Nobuhiko?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
He is rotating in an orb as we
he's-
speak.
he's
What did I call
rotating
it in my
somewhere.
notes? Because I kept calling it one thing. Yes, I kept saying he was trapped in the gestation orb.
True.
Wow.
My man is in fact gestating.
It's just the place where you put your blorbos in your head.
Yeah.
Yeah, they become more powerful by the moment.
Yeah.
Gulgum rotating him like I just think he's neat.
Wow, we had a lot to say.
We
I
had a
mean, I
lot
know
to
part of
say.
it was our introduction, but we had a lot to say in our first episode.
It's the first episode of a new show. There's a lot to talk about. So to keep the train rolling, let's hop on over to our second episode of a new show. Kamen Rider Black episode 2, Monster Party. Original air date October 11th, 1987. Notably shorter plot synopsis for this one.
You know who else is notably shorter? MF Doom. I think that's the one. I forget if it's Sheev or MF Doom who
No,
is
it was
clearly
Sheev.
walking on his knees.
Yeah, she's absolutely walking on his knees.
So
I
they can
did
all be
notice
in
that.
perfect shot, I think.
Yeah,
It's very funny, though.
They needed a shorter one. So occasionally one will be walking on his knees.
It's so considerate
just a little
of your
guy.
homies to be the one who gets on your knees so that
It's-
the rest of them can be in Photoshop.
I actually had to note about that because the way it makes him move, I said I like the
waddling.
the Yoda-esque waddle that our lead villain seems to have. Make the sun drinking, I must.
Which,
Uh,
by the way, we do get a little recap here. And normally I wouldn't bring it up. But in our excitement of talking about everything, I do think we kind of lost a little bit of the plot.
Well, that's because the plot is in this episode.
Well,
a little bit.
The episode 2 is straight up like, wow, wasn't that shit crazy? Let's rewind a little.
I suppose
Let's go back.
we do
Yeah.
have vocabulary of the evil super wizards know Kamen Rider as Black Sun because
Sure.
that will be something spooky to their evil plan.
We don't know yet. Ooh.
We're not
Yeah.
100% sure.
There's
Yeah, I
some
just
kind
don't-
of master race thing. There's a whole gallery of monsters that they showed us for like 5 seconds in episode 1. They're just like,
Yeah.
look at all these guys we got.
Ooh, spooky.
Suddenly turned it into a kaiju movie. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, Anguillus or something was going on. I
Yeah.
think he pointed out.
Yeah,
We
rising
don't
out
know
of
who
the
these
earth.
guys are. There's
Yeah.
several Batmen.
There's several Batmen. We got a couple of weird jumpy dudes that we're gonna learn more about later on. But we will talk to that here in a second. Let me just run through this very brief synopsis of the second episode. Kotaro looks for his stepbrother Nobuhiko Akizuki and plans to track down Golgum's headquarters. Shrimple ass.
Yeah.
It's just that shrimple. Yeah, I mean that's well and truly there's not too if anything I would say kind of the majority of the importance of this episode is placed on a flashback that puts us on the events that happen before our cold open of episode 1.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It
So
is
they're like,
it is
"Happy
literally just
birthday."
context.
Yeah. Hi. You might be wondering how I got into this situation.
Yeah.
See episode 2.
Yeah. It all started on my 19th birthday.
Yeah.
So
With my sick teen bro, and we are enjoying being young and rich in Japan's economic bubble.
Yeah.
Riding our yachts around in circles.
True.
Having our waterside birthday party with a bunch
Yeah.
of old people we don't know.
Yeah,
With a bunch of really famous and important people? Man, our dad hooked us up for our cool birthday, bro.
Hey, look, it's
Oh.
a famous actress.
Why do these guys keep talking about how beautiful and cyborgable we are?
I can't believe beautiful Japanese actress. I know it's Yukari Tsukikage. Yukari Tsukikage kissed our hands, bro. That's insane.
That's crazy,
Happy
bro.
birthday, dude.
Did you see that? I think she's into me.
I was gonna
No way,
worry
man,
about
she's into
Dad
me.
being into a cult,
Oh my
but
god.
bro, the actor kissed my hand.
Oh my god, the grasshoppers.
Yeah, what the fuck are all these locusts? Ah! Why is nobody reacting? We gotta Hardy Bros this shit.
Yeah.
Only us and our sister seem to care.
Yeah.
I feel like we cannot. I just want to make sure we don't glaze over famous actress absolutely spilling the shit out of so
Right about
many beans that she
I
was
can't
not
believe you
supposed
two are going to be cyborgified so soon. Isn't that great? Aren't you excited? What?
What the fuck are you
Wait,
talking about,
what-
ma'am?
we didn't-
Don't you
we
know on the eclipse? I mean,
We didn't tell them? Were there none of them?
Shut your mouth, you can go.
Shut up.
Oh, you're such a kidder.
I say the silliest things when I drink.
I'm shocked they didn't kill her then.
Yeah, really.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm
shocked
not
that's
going to
not how
lie.
it ended up. I mean,
I thought
it
they
makes,
put something in her drink.
Yeah, right.
You would think, yeah.
We're going to fucking kill you. I guess she was important enough. They can't just kill a famous actress at a party.
Yeah.
That's probably way
They would
too
be
much heat.
implicated so quickly.
Yeah.
But yeah.
They engage
ahead.
in some snooping and then get
Yeah.
kidnapped.
Yep.
And then they start being turned into cyborgs. And now you know the rest of the story.
Just a quick mention. This flashback is triggered because Kotaro sees a single grasshopper
Mm.
on his
he
bike.
sure does.
And
Hey, that reminds me.
and like, so it's just like, oh, there's gonna be like one or two grasshoppers in this cutscene. No, or
No.
this flashback. No, it is a locust swarm.
Yeah. Full on.
They are flying. They are enraged.
It's a suitably creepy scene. Like nobody,
It's true.
like they are the only people who notice apparently, as
Mm-hmm.
everyone else is just like, haha, party, as this horrid swarm of locusts like covers them,
Yeah. Very,
like crawling on their faces and stuff.
very good horror energy in the shot of our weird guests absolutely no selling the even existence of this locust swarm, as they're all just going, I just drink my drink, I smoke my smoke. Nothing weird is happening.
There's also a brief shot of it, as they, almost like bats, they kind of swarm at the moon for a little bit, and
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
good stuff,
Little
Yeah.
animated locusts.
right?
Yeah, that was a quality shot for sure. But yeah, now that we've we should take just the briefest sojourn of, I think this is information. This was either information that was initially introduced or just full on told to us in the previous episode. But since this is the episode with all the plot, we'll bring it up here. Why the fuck did we turn these two boys into cyborgs? Well, it's very simple. Golgum has a cyborg king that they call the Century King. And every so many years, when the Century King passes, a new Century King must be chosen. So what we do is we take the Century King's magical crystals and we put one of them into two cyborgs, and then those cyborgs fight to the death, and the one that survives gets to be the Century King again.
I was following until that last part.
I
Yeah.
I do not understand this process in the slightest, but that's the deal. Also, if you are wondering, Golgum's goal is to destroy humanity. Why? We haven't explained that yet.
Oh.
There's-
They want to destroy most of it, I guess.
Well, I guess...
And also turn some people into monsters, to which one of their
Yeah.
Illuminati members is really psyched about it.
Yeah.
We've had just this piece of information that they want to turn people into monsters that apparently have increased longevity and obviously like strength and stuff. And that in the first episode, Kotaro's father had said that they want to, quote, cull humanity. Great phrasing.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta love that. So I'm assuming that they only intend for a certain amount to live as monsters. They don't tell us. I don't know. I'm making assumptions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They also do make a point to not just target, like, lives, but they also specifically say they want to destroy the culture of humans as well. Which...
Makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, it makes
honestly.
sense. I thought that was an interesting...
Master race shit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they got that, and they are firmly establishing with this flashback too the ongoing shtick of a lot of these schemes is not just Shocker style. We put a monster. We kidnapped some guys, made a monster, make them work, and results profit, and then Kamen Rider blows them up. Is Golgum is firmly has probably done this before, first of all.
Mm-hmm.
And it's firmly established in Japanese society as an Illuminati, Freemasons, etc. bit, and they demonstrate, all these powerful people they have in their pockets. And most of the schemes are centered around that notion, is that we have people on the inside of very important institutions and stuff, and they are going to purposely redirect, human civilization. Or try to.
Yeah.
And that's spooky when you think about it, for sure. Like, as far as a horror angle goes, it's definitely, like, it's so weirdly contrasted with seeing the guys behind the curtain all the time, though, because it's like... And then you get to these guys, and they're just a bunch of wizards who go, "Ha! I love being evil. Fuck humanity. Fuck human culture." But if I were to choose anything to like tweak so far, it would definitely be like, they could have held their hand a little more.
Mm-hmm.
I think. Maybe have a few mooks. Like I think they needed to represent the integration into society better, and the like trust no one kind of hook you could have with that.
For sure. It definitely would have served this show if, I do really like the way the first episode opens, but redoing that opening again, but instead of having our three main big bads be the ones chasing them, have some forms of, like, lieutenants be the ones going after them. Same effect, but we also get to keep a little... We get to keep some stuff behind the curtain for later, which
exactly.
I can only see as a positive.
It's one of those things that I think is very interesting, and I hope something happens with it.
Yeah, right.
Boy.
There's a few things that I'm just like, man, I hope something happens.
Because right now, they do have their schemes, and they're fun. They're much more interesting than, we've made a lizard creature. Go be a lizard at this man.
And also cause earthquakes, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, also subway systems. Figure out how to work that in there. And so they're fun and kind of goofy, but, like, I'm still very curious, because we're so early on, of how much of this is going to be set dressing versus how much of it is actually going to matter.
Yeah, that's very fair. We can only hope that it is going to, come up in a relevant way in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Time will tell.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of this episode is covering the escape of Kotaro. We get kind of the replay of the lasers cutting the ropes and just watching him haul ass out of a facility. And I was actually quite refreshed that one of these scenes is very deliberately, hey, I found a cool bike in here.
Yep. They show us
I'm
how
gonna
he
name
finds
it.
the Battle Hopper.
My best friend, Battle Hopper,
I can only
pets
yeah.
it.
For real, it helped him. And it also lets them use another way to do some wacky green screen perspective, because they position it with like this crazy matte painting of like their like inner working tunnels.
Yeah.
And they're like got the weird alien architecture going like impossibly long distances. Set. And they get to utilize that not both for the wizards and for Kotaro, who is navigating it and going down in a motorcycle.
Yeah,
and that was neat.
Yeah.
They have this overarching back shot the background of this facility, but then we also have actual multiple sets that Kotaro runs through.
In addition, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It feels, as Shakes had mentioned, it does feel really alien. And I just hope they do more with that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Big same.
Yeah, I will say, for as much as Golgum is maybe not the most well fleshed out as far as like a story perspective, visually they have a very complete and very interesting aesthetic. I thought that the set for where the surgery was happening and where the escape happens, I thought was great. All of the like backgrounds that are used for every time we see one of our monsters that gets summoned from the Golgum verse ?
Yeah, this strange little aside world where they just seem to pop out of.
It
looks cool. It looks dope as hell. I wish we knew where it was.
Some subspace highway looking.
Yeah.
I have no. Yeah, what is this? It's colorful.
Yeah. Great visuals on it. Wish I knew more about it.
Where are we? We know that Kotaro escaped this place on bike.
Mm-hmm.
He has to know. I'm just deadly curious where he emerged in the world.
Didn't he bust out a window?
Where is that window?
Doesn't he dead ass like just bust out a window at the end of this?
Did he?
Please. I would have to review the footage, but it just feels like something that happened.
They go from that to like the bats flying over to the city to him just in the daytime driving down a road.
Yeah, the last scene I remember in the sequence of him actually leaving that weird Gorgum verse is just driving the bike down a long tunnel, and you can see the light, presumably of the sunlight, growing brighter, and then we transition back to present day.
Okay.
So I have no idea where he came out, because the episode 1 he's in the city. So did he like crawl out of the sewers, out of the forest?
Yeah, maybe.
You want to take the fight to them? You know where they are now. Like I'm not saying you need to. I'm not saying there's a plot hole. I'm not saying anything like that. But like, I need to know where they are.
Yeah.
He emerged from the plot hole.
Plot holes create space and time pockets large enough for the Golgum verse to exist.
Damn, fucked
Dang.
up.
Big enough for my keys and my phone.
Yeah. The boy pockets of fat rips in space.
What else could we fit in there?
My Nintendo DS Lite, perhaps.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Oh, that's not out yet. It's the 80s.
You're right.
Nope, not Game Boy yet. Sorry.
Nope, not yet. It hasn't happened yet.
Your Game & Watch.
Yeah, there it is.
And a 5-cent romance novel. Let's just cram one of those in there.
Ooh.
My virtual boy.
Nope.
Nope, not that
Way
one.
too early.
We ain't done that one yet.
When did that
But
come out?
you can put a Famicom in there.
Yeah.
No, I can't.
if you're brave enough.
That has to go down
Well, at
the
least a
pants, not in the
cartridge.
pockets. I don't think that'll work.
That's so fair. Be some insane
Insert
pockets.
disc here.
True.
I just
That's what my booty
Let's
shorts
leave.
say.
No!
I just
Screaming.
wow. Okay.
Moving on.
Slide that cartridge in, gamer. Goodbye, we're leaving.
Make sure to blow on it first.
No, we're leaving.
Okay, second back half of the episode. It's real shrimple. We go to find actress lady so she can hopefully spill more beans to us. When we arrive at her house, she dead.
It was
She's
a cougar.
freshly murdered.
Yeah, freshly murdered by the Googer. Who we must
They
not
waited
fight.
for her to invite him in first.
It's
Oh,
so
I love
funny.
that scene. Because he goes in and you see the fun little animated eyes appear in the bushes and follow him. I thought that was rad. I was hoping he would like look back and be like, "What the fuck?" But it was still so delightful.
Yeah,
We need to key in more funny things.
key in more things.
I'm sad they couldn't let the Why? I was shocked that the famous actress wasn't a monster in disguise because she was in on it.
Yeah, you would have thought. You'd have thunked it.
I guess they kept a lot of people not monsters, as we
Yeah.
will see. There's plenty of dudes who are just dudes in positions of power, which is nice.
It's just
Which
another
means-
form of monster.
Which means there's no mooks. There's only guys they throw at you. Which does make an interesting moral quandary for the Kamen Rider.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta kill the monster.
Gotta
Or
kill
the guy who wants
monster.
to become a monster.
Not me, no.
what if? Oh no.
No.
Anyways, there was a Googer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was a
what
Googer
if-
for a bit.
What about the people
And
who
then
want
it
to
was-
become furries?
What about dogs?
Eh.
What if we put it here? Okay, I got a position. What if we took this dog? What if we took this German Shepherd and put it in a leopard outfit?
We could not afford an actual jaguar. We have a German Shepherd and some fabric.
and some lights
Yep.
to shine over its dog face because it's just going so fast.
Goes
It's just
so
tearing up
fast.
the fucking scene.
There's
There's nothing faster than a dog posing as a leopard.
I love this kind of effect. Like, it's so fun.
It really was very enjoyable.
It was so funny because just, you get just enough frames of like, oh, that's a dog head. Just
Yep.
like it just peeks out of the special effect for a moment. It's so delightful. They have a lot of fun with like doing classic like Kamen Rider putting the camera under something while it jumps over it and using that as like a transition into a transformation.
Yeah, that was very good.
Or sometimes just finding animal footage and using that as a transition to transformation. But it's cute. It's a cute touch. Beast mode engaged.
Yeah, I
Beast mode
wish
disengaged.
I wish more animal monsters would turn into the animal that they are supposed to be.
Or a dog dressed up like the animal
Yeah.
they're supposed to be.
Right. Oh yeah. Or that alternative.
However, if there's supposed to be a dog monster, I do want a actual jaguar
cat.
dressed up as a dog
Yeah, or a cat.
Yeah.
or a cat. Basically the same thing.
Or a man.
Or a man.
Or a man.
Just a different man. Put him in the other costume.
We can find a man for this job.
Put him in
shortly.
pajamas that kind of look like the costume and make him run on all fours.
Well,
Speaking of the costume, should we talk about this one?
we should.
Yeah, remember when we had
Let's-
nice things to say about these suits?
Let us rip this thing apart.
I think it already was. That's the problem.
For real?
Yeah.
Not again?
I legitimately wonder what the hell happened?
I think they spent all of their creative energy on making 5 awesome spider
Dope-ass
suits.
spiders, yeah.
That when they needed to come to the second episode, they were just like, ugh, burnt out and just patched this together real quick. They just had to
Have
throw
you
it in for the week.
for if you haven't seen it, have you seen a stage production of Cats?
Oh my god.
It's worse.
It's much worse.
but it's like that.
Significantly worse.
It is. Imagine if one of the stage production Cats was intentionally mangy and supposed to look like kind of like a rat.
Yeah,
like,
a little bit.
You know how Grisabella is still like beautiful and sympathetic despite her matted coat? Imagine like the opposite of that spectrum. This is the wretched, mangy, like wretch. Everybody hates this guy. That's exactly what he looks like.
I have to think, I don't think this dude had any friends even in Golgum.
Nobody likes him.
I can smell this thing.
Yeah, it smells wet, doesn't it?
Yeah, already. And he hasn't even jumped out that window yet.
Like,
God, true.
But watch out.
I want everyone, like, another example that is the naughty nightwear from Fallout 3. It is somehow it somehow has the texture of the Gamebryo engine. I don't know how they did it. It's
This thing sucks. I do not like looking at him.
It's awful.
We would it's to the point where we would criticize this if it was an Ichigo.
Oh, for sure.
Oh yeah, this
like
is
the
reminding
face-
me of an Ichigo.
Yeah.
I feel like the face is too well constructed for Ichigo, but everything
fair.
else feels a little rough.
It's a solid mask. It's like
Yeah?
fucked up and
Yes.
evil, but like I think it's a solid like cat beast mask. It's just the rest of it just looks like it's a leopard print jumpsuit. You've
Yeah.
probably seen someone's aunt wearing this, and then they
God.
pasted a bunch of, and then they ripped up a rug and put it all over the suit.
It's just truly fascinating. 'Cause
it's difficult to watch them succeed so hard and then immediately trip and fall directly on their faces the next episode.
and like
It's incredible.
for the folks in the podcast, or for the folks at home watching
Hi,
or
yes.
listening,
Oh, I see.
I want you to Google Kumo Lion from Kamen Rider Ichigo. And
Yeah.
I legitimately
I-
think that this is a better suit.
I was gonna say I'd take this dude over
Yeah.
Little Leopard any day.
Like,
This guy's a freak, and I like him.
You were saying that like the mask is well constructed, but I think the mask is better constructed on this one. Like,
I think they're in two different ballparks
that's fair.
of getting the job done.
Yeah.
Maybe
I like
one
this
is
thing's
just-
hollow eyes.
Yeah. Maybe this one just looks so much like, the abandoned factory or house that they met, or Kotaro met the dad at, did actually get turned into a party Halloween.
Spirit Halloween.
Spirit Halloween. And they did,
Yeah.
in fact, just pick up a werewolf mask. And so that, I don't think they were really a monster. I think they were cosplaying.
It was just
That was just a
dude
guy. And
guy
his
that
dog.
runs real fast.
His dog.
It's a stage magician.
Yeah.
I don't know. He had pretty good hops.
Yeah.
So much of this fight is just literally people taking turns spearing each other out of windows
God, true.
into the ocean, and then jumping out of the ocean to knock each other out of windows again into the ocean
And like
until one of them explodes.
with the first suits, they broad daylight, like steady shots on them, This is never on screen for more than a couple seconds in the
For
darkness.
a reason.
Yeah, no, I think they made this fight out of, they wrote the script this way because this suit was like this.
That's
Man.
the problem is you're probably right, and that sucks.
It does. I don't know, I always feel bad when I criticize something so heavily in art department, because I'm like, I know the feeling of designing something that it sucks, it's hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially when you've got deadlines, and sometimes you're like, even I don't like this, but I gotta get something made and ready.
Yeah.
And that's, one of the reason why I'm, legitimately curious on why this ended up like this.
They just kind of needed a fight to happen in a vehicle for it, I guess. Because it's Kamen Rider still. We're getting the intrigue of, ooh, it's they got eyes everywhere, and ooh, they're killing collaborators because they don't want people to find out about their secret society.
How spooky.
Right.
And, and then here's a Googer, go kill him, Kamen Rider, to protect the people by destroying a piece of their organization. And that's all we need.
Yeah.
A little reminder of what we're fighting for at the end, and that basically is it. Steal a kid's balloon.
Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah. I laughed very much about that at the end. This single balloon is tied to the railing just by itself. I truly feel there's no indication that it wasn't left there intentionally by someone and he just steals it.
Yeah.
It's very funny to me.
If we want to be generous, I suppose it's a decoration that he also just copped, but for whatever was happening in that little street festival or whatever. But yeah.
There's a part of me that there's a part of me that enjoys the idea of 30 seconds afterwards a little kid just runs up and is like, "Mommy, where's my balloon?"
And he's long gone.
He is out of there. Friend of children, Kamen Rider.
Friend of children's Kamen Rider.
Just like Gamera.
Yeah.
Just like Gamera.
Just like Gamera.
That is pretty much everything there is to say that has happened in this episode. But there is one more thing, and we should make a point to just talk about it very briefly. We do take the briefest of sojourns during this episode to establish our Snack Amiga, which is where we're going to hide out our little sister since our family is dead.
Yeah, we need a new place to hide out.
They also were like, "Hey, the organization knows where we live, so maybe you should hide out somewhere else just in case they target you for leverage against me."
Yeah.
That sort of thing.
We also established no secret identities within your friend group.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem that important yet, but at least they took a time in narration to be like, Kotaro caught his sister up on everything that had happened so far, including his transformation.
Ah, good to know.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
There's a narrator now, by the way.
Yes.
You'll see more of him later.
You're going to see a lot more of him later.
I mean, I suppose there was a narrator in Ichigo as well, but
He didn't really pop up
yeah,
in the episodes themselves, though.
he was more just a frame.
Yeah, he was bookending things generally.
We thought we were going to get another beloved old guy.
I know.
We got someone named Todo Senpai, and he leaves immediately.
He
so
sure fucking does.
Yeah.
he runs a cafe. When Kotaro and his sister show up, they're like, "Okay, we'll stay here, right?" And Todo Senpai is like, "Yep, I got empty rooms in the back. Pick whichever one you want." Hands her the keys, and he's like, "Well, bye."
I'm going on vacation.
Scuba diving, I think he said.
Yeah.
He's just going scuba diving by himself because he just felt the call of nature, I guess. And he didn't close his business.
No.
He was like, this girl's gonna run
This
it for
is
me.
part of the deal. He did not inform you that this is part of the deal, but this is part of the deal. You run this now.
Yeah.
Enjoy the free lodging.
Yeah, you want to
It's
live
not
in my
free.
restaurant, you gotta run it.
Poor Kyoko has no idea what she's doing. She just got handed an entire cafe with no warning.
She really bounced back pretty well.
She really did, because two people walk in.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
oh, shit, well, all right, yeah, what do you want? What's your order?
They order coffees.
Let me just make coffee now.
I hope you know how to make coffee, girl.
And Kotaro was like, great, this is all in hand, and leaves.
Wonderful, I can leave now.
Like,
And then they rope in Nobuhiko's girlfriend later. Without any mention of her.
Yeah, it's wild.
But anyway, now we have a snack amigo.
And I am of the belief that this man will betray us.
Oh,
You think Toto Senpai would
I
betray
think
us?
he will
my
either
God.
betray us or he will unlock some sort of secret.
I believe if he
Conspiracy
does
runs deep.
either, it would be entirely accidental.
Because
yeah.
I base this entirely on the fact that he left so quickly, and also his name is vaguely, very vaguely, phonetically similar to Todd.
What?
And, okay, that sounds like a non sequitur, but let me explain. David Todd was a researcher who was someone who helped photograph the eclipses in the 1880s.
Ah, yes.
So clearly,
Not a non sequitur at all,
Clearly.
obviously.
well, I mean, that's look. I was doing some research about eclipses in Japan,
Yeah.
and I found that, and I'm just like, this is so stupid. So I really want it to be true.
Well, I suppose time will tell.
Yeah. It'll be a hell of a thing if you called this shot all the way back in episode
Look,
2.
I have crazier.
Which
thoughts.
shot? the reasoning
That
or
Toto
just the
Senpai
basic
is a
thing?
betrayer, I think.
I think
Any.
one both are very distinct shots being called here. Because I don't know about the second one. Maybe the first one, sure. I think we can agree that's a possibility. The conspiracy, after all.
Yeah.
Could be fun.
What do you think about the fact? What do you consider the possibility that Kotaro was not actually born in Japan?
I'd almost zero.
Me too. But
Not unless Nobuhiko was born outside of Japan.
I believe my running theory is that they were either born in China or Russia, because they were said to be born during a total eclipse, and
Sure.
the total eclipse in 1968, when they were said to be born, was only a total eclipse in like northwest China and parts of the Soviet Union. So that's my deep conspiracy theories. I will be building off of them. I'm so sorry.
Place your bets now, folks.
Place your bets now. How much more will this total eclipse come up? My vote's on never.
It'll come up like once at episode 52, I'm sure.
I think they went into an encyclopedia and looked up when the last total eclipse was and said, "Hey, that's 19 years ago. That's
Yeah,
a pretty good age for a
probably.
protagonist."
I really
Did not because
think-
it's 1987 and they don't have the internet. So they went, "All right, good enough. That's enough research for today." That's a fun fact we got to put in.
I think if anything, if the eclipse thing does somehow come up again, it will not be at any point during Kamen Rider Black or Black RX, and it will in fact be mentioned again in Black Sun, the
That's
anniversary
fair.
special.
That's funny. Here's my theory. Here's my actual realistic theory for Black is regarding eclipses. I think it will be the set piece of the battle between
Yes.
him and Nobuhiko.
I was thinking similarly.
Yeah.
It just looks so cool.
Yeah,
Like
you
they
know
can
what? That
fudge
would
it.
be
It's not
good.
going to be perfect darkness because we have to make a television show, but like they'll do
Go and get
something.
that.
They gotta, right?
The circle in the sky.
Yeah, you gotta get that circle in the sky.
Yeah.
We got wizards and shit. We'll make it happen.
Yeah, you know what? That's fair. That's actually a really good. Now I kind of hope that happens, because that would be very cool.
Yeah, and you silhouette it. It'd be great.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We love silhouettes. We have glowing eyes.
Yeah.
Like,
Damn, it would be real.
there's shit to be done.
Yeah, shit. Speaking
Now,
of,
I'm setting up our expectations so we can be crushed.
Yeah, same.
yeah, just like we were with
leg sweep.
Ichigo. Speaking of things to be done, let's go ahead and finally cover our last episode of this episode. That is Kamen Rider Kamen Rider Black episode 3. Blech. Strange Cyborg. Original air date October 18th, 1987. We got another quick one-sentence plot synopsis for you. Here we go. Kotaro investigates a bizarre string of abductions in conjunction with a scheme by Bishum to bring him down.
Oh, I just remember
Names
what
that
this
Art
episode
brought
was
up.
about.
This is a fun episode.
They made concept art of Kamen Rider hitting the second tower.
My first
Their master
note.
plan.
My first note is, oh god, they're planning 9/11.
It's much dumber than that.
It is,
But it's so funny that they got that they hashed it out in their little lair. Like, hey, okay, here's my next plan. I actually made some assets to what I want, because I want to make an art installation. I guess this is our Golgum culture, right? This
Yeah.
is the culture we're replacing. I want to make a sick-ass art installation where I fuck up a bunch of buildings, put them in a pile, put a plane in the pile, and also Kamen Rider's head in a pile.
in a pile,
Yeah, just sitting there.
just hanging out in the rubble.
Pulled the
But
visual
yeah.
aid on the slideshow.
Yeah, click.
It's very good.
It's so funny.
It's so
Like-
funny.
The concept is ridiculous and silly. I also can't deny that I'm kind of a sucker for the trope of death and destruction as a creative outlet for evil people.
Oh no, no.
Yeah,
It's
this is just how I do art.
Yeah.
yeah. It's great.
Now bring in the silkworm creature.
Yeah, bring in the silkworm.
Screech.
There's a damn creature.
He is the one best suited for this job. The silkworm. He will kill the Kamen Rider.
Wait, but before we go to the silkworm, V, was that your full thought?
Yes.
Okay, bring out the silkworm creature.
Yeah, the silkworm creature. Let's talk about this. Is a good suit. We went back to we got
very
another
good
good suit. This this suit is dope. My man,
fucked up bug.
yeah, he is a fucked up bug ass bug man, and boy do he be shooting that silk.
He looks squishy.
He does look squishy, yeah,
Yeah.
He looks like he
And,
could just like grab a fistful of them.
yeah.
He's like a
Yeah,
gummy
and
bear.
not in a good way, because it would, any fistful you grab is gonna make a real mess.
Oh,
I
true.
I don't know if it's. I don't think it's sexy. I'm still debating.
I don't know if I got that one.
B, you're so
Well,
powerful.
Taste your bliss, but like,
yeah. I cannot follow you
Nonagon.
down this path.
I'm looking to you.
I can describe a lot of sensations. I don't know if any of them are sexual, unfortunately.
Like,
I'm sad it has legs, but I understand that it has a suit actor.
Yeah,
So I
dude's
get
got
it.
to fucking move. We've got choreo we need to do.
I don't know. I feel like there's charms to be had in it for sure.
That's fair.
But it's
I
like
feel like you're being nice to me.
no. It's not just that. It's that I'm
Just.
well. I like to be nice to my friends, but also I'm
Oh.
I'm a freak and I'm not normal, and I'm just like
Handshake.
yeah, handshake. Look, I'm just thinking, like, is it a positive if, like, this man would, like, flake off onto you with
Flake?
Like, I'm thinking, like, you know
Oh.
how old rubber tends to, like...
That's fair, but I'm not imagining a rubber suit. I'm imagining a silkworm.
No, like, the old... Sometimes when, rubber gets all oily and it starts to flake off, I feel like that would be his silkwormy texture with just a little
Oh,
bit...
you think he just feels like that?
Feels like that with, like, a mixture of a water balloon?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, I feel like...
Yeah, like I said, I think something's coming out if you squeeze any end of that, and it's probably just gonna get all over your hand.
I'm intrigued, though. We
Yeah.
have to move on.
There's gonna be some goop.
I would beg us. I would
We-
legitimately beg us to move on.
Wow.
Even you, okay.
That, yeah. Look, fine. We'll at the end,
Very well.
it'll have to be just B and I doing the what's the sexiest black or Kamen Rider black monster at the end.
No,
of this.
listen, I can grok with that. This dude's just not on my list. I'm sorry. The silkworm monster doesn't get it up. I don't know what the fuck to tell you.
All right, we can move on.
Do it for me.
I'm sorry, audience. Also,
Look,
please forgive
What
me.
what if he swung like Spider-Man?
I don't.
oh well, okay.
That doesn't.
I'm throwing you a life preserver, Fats.
Well, yeah, we have to go because that gave me more ideas. We have to go.
God, okay, we gotta go. We have a silkworm man, and now after our silkworm man, we have a very old train.
It's true.
Who's up?
Oh,
Studio
man.
Ghibli.
Who's up doing 80s child safety?
Oh yes, I was screaming while we were watching this scene. This boy sticks his whole arm and head out the window of a
That-
moving train
Yeah.
not long before, as it is approaching a tunnel.
And there's like poles before that honestly do not seem very far from the train itself. Like, there's many dangers here. And you fall out.
It's fine.
No.
Anyways, gotta close the window because there's a tunnel, and some people just don't.
Everybody's
Just-
smoking in here.
Yeah, a bunch of fucking smoke getting into the thing because they're in a crusty ass tunnel with a smoky ass train.
Yeah.
Clickety clack down the track.
There's not going to be lots of trains anymore because, good lord, what is that at the end of the
There was a
tunnel?
damn creature.
Yeah. What the hell is that? I'll tell you what the hell
kind
it
of
is. It's
sexy.
silkworm. Yeah. Damn.
My first note of Kamen Rider Black paying off. All right, how sexy is this show? Let's find out.
You know? Yeah.
We are always saying that.
You're off.
Yes.
Every time I consume a piece of media, that's the first question I ask. I sit down and I say, all right, how sexy is this?
Not sexy enough.
Not sexy enough.
Try again.
Although, admittedly, boy, they sure try with this scene, because this silkworm sure does sneak into this train, and he sure does start silking all over everybody.
It's silken time.
Yeah,
He's silked all over him.
yeah.
You do not want someone doing that on the train.
You do
Yeah.
not want someone silking on you on the train. Well, unless you do.
yeah. I mean, hey,
I've seen some videos.
I've heard of that one Spider-Man spinoff. Anyways,
Jesus Christ.
fuck it, good, genuinely good horror aesthetics here. Which I think deserves double impressiveness because it's still that fucking Spirit Halloween cotton
Yep.
webbing shit. But they actually pull off something kind of neat as the kid's mom is like shoving him off the train.
Mm-hmm.
But her like face is like getting enveloped and tugged away by the string
It's scary.
as she's screaming for him to run. Like, yeah, it's like, all right. You guys are making it work.
Yeah, they did good stuff with that scene for sure.
Where on the Kamen Rider child actor scale are we putting this kid?
I'll give him a 4 out of 10.
Okay.
I have a note that reads Onichan Tasukete's smiley face, Yoichi,
Yeah, a little bit.
1987.
Onichan Tasuke.
He's doing his best, and it could be better, but thanks, kid. You look very young.
He's definitely
He's yeah.
That's our baseline, and it's really low.
That is one. That is the one on the scale. Is that kid?
And then Goro is our 10.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
This is a steep scale to have to try to climb up. So 4 is not bad, kid.
You could do a lot worse.
You do a lot worse.
Granted, at the same time, like, as much as you want child actors, as much as it's cool to see child actors be good, when it comes to like scenes where the child actors just like exclusively in distress, it's almost comforting to hear them be really bad at it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Like,
that's fair.
When you can hear that they're like having fun and smiling in the scene, it's kind of nice.
Yeah.
I don't know. You ever get like messed up when child actors are way too good at their jobs during like highly distressing scenes?
A little.
Yeah, I understand that energy.
That Dakota Fanning effect.
Yeah.
Of looking like she aged like 50 years in a scene.
Oof.
Good to know that this wasn't a future traumatic memory for you, kid.
Yeah, he seems like he was having fun, as far as we could tell.
Yeah.
They covered him in some cotton. It was probably a very silly day.
Yeah.
He gets dragged across the floor.
Yeah, they sure did.
And then he gets to brag to all of his friends that he was in Kamen Rider.
Yeah.
And they'd be like,
Then
what?
they'll be like,
no,
no
you're
way.
not.
And then they'll tune in.
Yeah.
And then he
they'll
gets to rub it in their faces.
Yeah.
In your fucking face!
I rate this child actor like a 5 out of 5 because I like his energy, but 5 out of 10 because it's fine.
I was, as I heard you get that F sound out, I was really curious if you had just suddenly soul linked with B and we're also about to give him a 4 out of 10.
Unfortunately, I not soul linked on this particular issue, unlike the Silkworm apparently.
But yeah, no, he did pretty okay.
He did all right.
Thank you for child acting and for not giving us.
But also, fuck you. Give us another kid give us someone on that level again. It's so funny.
Yeah,
It's really funny.
Really
Poor kid.
funny.
Where's the kid that goes? Wait, no.
He was almost there.
It's he has his ups and downs and he emotes a bit.
Mm-hmm.
It's just inconsistent in the way he emotes, which fair. He's like 4.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about 4.
I don't know how
He is
ones for a 4-year-old.
He is child age. I have a question and a change of topic.
Sure.
How'd they get such damn good footage of Batman stealing a satellite?
Right?
Yes. Who is filming the footage they put on the news of Batman stealing the satellite?
Wait.
He got all the way up there. He just took it.
Yoink.
Which, I wasn't sure with this, but is this Batman supposed to be huge? Is he supposed to be giant?
Maybe, yeah, it's a little hard to tell because he steals a whole ass satellite and a chunk of a damn building.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We see him at the beginning of the next episode, though, don't we?
Do we?
Yep.
Or
There are multiple.
Yeah, I guess
Batman?
He's
there's
not
a
big.
squad. There's a squad of Batman. We have established that much. But yes, if you're to believe the next episode, he's just Batman size.
Like,
unless they
I
have
just-
one enormous Batman for stealing
Just for
giant
stealing.
fixtures. Yeah,
Listen, you gotta have one big one, just in case.
Just
One
in case.
kaiju.
he's the alpha Batman.
Yeah.
In my notes, it's like just, oh no, they stole the Hubble. No.
No.
Who needs it?
It's not him.
Throw a bunch of
all-
random shit.
Meet the Hubble. Hubble is great.
It's so true. Shout to the Hubble. Hey, you know who else I want to shout out? The police and their whack-ass perimeter that they made around this crime scene. My man Kotaro slips right in. My man swooses right
We were
in.
laughing about that too.
Yeah. It was... Don't mind me. I'm handsome and male.
I
Listen,
also,
he is a handsome, well-spoken man. He can
With
do
money.
anything he wants.
yeah.
He also
Yeah.
has money.
He was invisible to them. He just
I need to
walked
become
on
handsome,
by.
well-spoken, and rich.
I believe in your ability to do this. You're already handsome. And well-spoken.
Aw.
Dang.
What?
You only
We
got
just-
one more thing to do?
Yeah, we just gotta work
That's
on
the
making me
fucking
drop
problem.
Let's rob a bank. Let's rob a bank.
And by rob a bank, we mean work really hard.
Yeah.
Robbing that bank. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work to
Getting
rob
that-
a bank.
It's so
Money
true.
legally.
I think that should be recognized by the courts. That I
Finders
worked
keepers.
Yeah,
maybe
exactly.
harder
Well,
than most people do at their jobs robbing this
Rob
bank.
Yeah, what the fuck?
okay.
I earned
That was
this.
a lot of work.
So I don't think you stole your hourly wage. That's the real issue.
I stole what my hourly wage should have been.
Yeah, well,
I pay salary up front.
True.
yeah. Yeah, this isn't an hourly job.
So true.
You think they assign hourly wages to Jeff Bezos? Why does he get to have billions of dollars and I can't work very hard to get $1 million? Forcibly.
Yeah.
At gunpoint.
Hell, I don't even need a stone cold millie. I'm
And a
trying to
bank.
get like 15,000, man.
Yeah.
Insane how life-changing that money would be.
Yeah, right? Like that'd have me pretty damn well set for a good long while.
Buried in my backyard.
Yeah.
Join us on Longtime Watcher, First Time Robber, as you check the local news.
Oh,
Root for us.
Yippee.
I sure
Yeah.
hope the police secured the perimeter as poorly as they did here.
Yeah. Speaking of the police doing a poor job, I really just want to highlight whoever this lead detective kind of looks like a chief of police type guy is, doing the interview about this accident, wherein a reporter is like, how could something like this possibly happen? And he's just like, gee, I don't fucking know, man. It's weird, right?
Yeah, that's kind of crazy, actually.
Yeah, like this is dumping us, honestly.
Like, I just don't want to front with you. I'm like, we got nothing.
Honestly, sir, I appreciate your candor. I appreciate your willingness to be like, you know what? This one's fucking beyond me, man.
I'll probably be all right though.
Yeah, hopefully we'll figure it out. Maybe that Kamen Rider guy will show up again. Seen him in the news. But yeah, Kataro able to slip past the world's worst police perimeter, finds our child actor, and our child actor subsequently gets kidnapped by a silkworm because of it.
Web swinging. Yeah.
Yep,
Sorry, silk swinging.
silk swinging. True. We get to go to weird quarry underground temple that they have used many a time before in other tokus. Or I guess I should say many a time after, but it was in series I watched before this, so... the
For a long
is,
time,
I like
I
this
hear.
place. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, this is a cool, like, natural set that they have found, and I always like it whenever it shows up, because it's like, hey, this place is weird, and I don't understand how it happened, but it looks cool. Speaking of things that are weird, and I don't understand how they happen.
Yeah.
Welcome to Golgum Studios.
Yeah. We made a scale model after we did our concept art. And it's got a little Kamen Rider head on it. Just so we can emphasize how we really want Kamen Rider's head on this thing.
They're not smart, but they are organized. I can respect it. I can
really,
relate.
Yeah. I'm really endeared to just this scale model.
The scale model is so goddamn funny.
What do you think, soon-to-be Century King? Do you like our Museum of Culture?
It's pretty neat.
I like how they just sort of like... I like this notion that they have this whole tradition where they want to make the Century Kings fight. But I guess since they don't have a control on him, like I was just thinking, like, your plan isn't ruined. He's just gonna fight the other Century King, right? In theory. But I guess if he wins, that's a problem.
Right, yeah.
So now they are like, well, I guess we'll just find silly ways to kill him and declare the other guy the Century King.
We have to take our magic RPG gem out of him.
And
That's
find
true.
another
Got that
dude.
shit
The
in there.
King Stone. Ooh, the King Stone.
That's how you evolve into Polytoad.
So true. I
Need it
want a
back.
Polytoad.
Yeah. Or a Slow King, I guess.
Also
I
good.
like Slow King.
I like Slow King. It's just... My biases are a little fucking strong in this pairing.
That's fair.
I also like
really
Slowbro
like
better.
Slowbro's so cute.
Yeah. Slowbro is
Oh.
just a little buddy.
He's just a dude. That's just a man.
That's just a guy.
Mhm.
My man is
Just
chill
a bro, dare I say.
True.
Anyways, what?
Do you also make the Galaran Slow King with the... No, I can't.
Oh, yeah, with the fucking cape.
I-
Oh,
I really like
that's
that
a
one.
Kamen Rider villain.
Old Phantom of the
Oh.
Opera ass bitch.
Yeah.
He does.
That guy's
Speaking
going
of
to
the
send
Phantom of the
Shocker
Opera.
after you.
Yes.
Oh,
Speaking
yeah,
of the Phantom of the
honestly.
Opera.
Yeah, we get spooky ghosted by one of our only one of our big bads this time. It's time for Girl Boss.
Yeah,
the
this is her
girl
project.
boss.
Time to girl fail it up in here.
It's
little
so
bit.
true.
It was really endearing, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, honestly,
We can't
Like
we can't get away from the fail women.
we can't.
It's true. Like, the way the silkworm got just thrown into her and she Spinnerellas her way off into the abyss.
Fuck you!
Chucks him into her. She really
just-
did not see that shit coming.
I mean,
And then she was gone, never to be seen again.
yeah. Listen, if
Rocket
someone threw
blasted
one
off
of my-
again.
yeah. If someone threw one of my mixes into me, I'd fuck off too.
Fine,
Ow.
fine, fuck you.
I'm done. Yeah, bye.
Fuck you then. Shit.
I wanna... This is a thing already, I'm sure, but I want a story of just people who really want to be evil, but they're just such dorks. They don't know how.
You know, that does seem like it would be a fun time. Speaking of dorks, I had a thought while watching this episode, which was specifically, I am curious as to what the nature of Kamen Rider is in the universe of Kamen Rider Black, because Kotaro sure does just call himself that.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
He's just like,
As-
I'm
as
Kamen
with most
Rider.
Black.
As with all of them I've seen so far, don't worry about it.
Yeah, I guess so.
Like,
He's the masked rider. Don't worry.
I think this was actually really interesting. departure from Kuga, because I believe Kuga, you said, is kind of a standout, where Godai has no idea what this is, how to use his powers, kind of stuff, right?
More or less.
Yeah, and I wasn't expecting it to be so jarring when like this man instantly gets cyborged and he's like, "Yep, this is how I henshin. This is how I call my bike. I am Kamen Rider.
Rider punch, rider kick.
Rider kick.
I've got a system down.
Well,
Would you
I
like
should...
to hear my mixtape?"
Yeah, my name is Kamen Rider Black. Please recognize my brand. Kamen Rider Black saved all of you. Please remember. Thank you. Bye.
Yeah.
And then he runs away. I guess we kind of skipped the fight, which is a shame because it does have a punch cam in it, which is...
Yeah.
It's true.
I was so happy to see punch cam come back.
Punch cam came back. Very good. Also, a thing that I made the point to make a note of, we get a fucking Solonge silkworm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gives my man the full giant swing.
That was awesome.
That ruled.
That's how he's thrown into Girlfail.
Yes.
It's true.
She was the
The
bomb.
giantest of swing.
Yeah.
This is...
Also the technique Rider explode my body. It really, it was one of those things where it's just like, well, we wrote him into a situation where he got fully restrained. He explodes it off of himself.
Yeah,
The
listen.
sheer force of will.
I know you won't see this mechanic for another couple of years, but I've got a burst. Let me just slap all 4 of these buttons.
He was saving it.
Yeah, it's my turn now, Silkworm. You gotta hold this. You gotta hold this standing knee drop. Just slammed it right into his chest. Love to see it. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, Scorch, I believe, was the noise that happened on that one.
As well it should be.
I made a special note to write it down because, yeah, that was a wet, crunchy walnuts in a mango kind of noise.
That is a hell of a way to describe that, but you are 100% correct.
What I'm describing specifically, actually, I think it was cantaloupes. It was walnuts inside of cantaloupes, like rotten ones. Is the noise that Weird Al Yankovic used for Weasel Stomping Day
Oh, really?
to simulate crushing weasel skulls under your boots.
Uh-huh.
Was
I never knew that about that song, but that, wow, yeah, it was a
walnuts
powerful
inside of a
audio,
cantaloupe.
powerful audio effect that he was able to get.
Probably similar notion for this of just something squishy with something crunchy inside, and then they just slapped a shoe onto it.
Mm.
Put a microphone there.
And you got yourself some damn good Foley.
That's Foley, baby.
That's Foley, baby. But yeah, this is this is pretty. I mean, I think aside from those like specific standouts that we mentioned, there's not too much to talk about this fight scene. We do get to watch a fun bit of our boy Kotaro ripping the doors off of cages.
Yeah.
Because why would you
Fun,
do anything
yes.
else?
Yeah, I was like, he started gripping those bars, and I was like, oh yeah, he's gonna bend the bars. He just yanks them off with sparks flying.
Yeah.
Good. I like it.
I think that's cute of him.
I mean, it's true, but you shouldn't say it.
Why not?
I don't know. He's a 19-year-old man. He probably wouldn't appreciate being called cute while he's in his evil cyborg mode, trying to liberate people.
Suppose it's cool of you.
Okay, there you go. That's all I'm saying.
What
It's
a nice young
radical
man.
even.
Yeah, pinch his cheeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, all I'm saying is go on at least a full date first before you start calling him cute. You know what I mean?
Is it that? I didn't think it was that forward. I'm reconsidering my everything now.
Yeah, I don't have a really good read on Kotaro in general,
Listen, yeah,
unfortunately.
I was
so
gonna say,
far.
it definitely depends on the guy, but there are definitely some dudes who I think if you hit them with the cute right out the gate, they are not going to be about that.
Some dudes need to get the fuck over it.
I mean, it's true. Listen, I'm not
A
saying
little.
you're wrong. I'm just saying.
I know. You're describing something it's like, yeah. Some people really have hang-ups on that shit, and it's just like every time I'm reminded of that, I'm just like, what? Grow up.
I guess I'm just a weirdo as well. Because, like...
Sorry if anyone's listening who has a hang-up like that, but also I find you silly. A little bit. Like, loosen up.
Well,
loosen up, man.
Listen, being cute is a good thing.
Being cute, like, yeah, there's no... I mean, there's plenty of people who say it sarcastically, yeah, like, but, like, if, like, a girl's just like, yeah, you're cute. Like...
You take that. You take that all the way to the bank.
Yeah.
There are plenty of reasons why I can understand why you'd not want to be called a certain thing. But I don't know, I just suppose, like, I feel like most of my friends have the right to call me most things, and I don't know, am I weird for that?
Call me anything you like.
Yeah, I was going to say, like...
Okay, anything you like.
I don't think you're wrong for that. I just think you phrased it poorly.
I don't know how to phrase it better.
Cool.
They can describe me in ways that they wish. There we go.
Okay, yeah, that's a lot better. That sounds less like an invitation to call you a slur.
I can't deny it was rolling in my head a little bit.
There was some very powerful, like, yeah, just call me whatever, man.
I'm wagging my finger at the both of you.
Okay,
listen,
bleep.
Yeah.
No, I suppose I'm just weird because I'm like, I don't care what adjectives my friends prescribe to me most of the time.
No, I mean, I understand that sentiment. I'm largely there with you.
That's so fair. I don't think I'm brave enough to say that because I feel like it would immediately be tested and I'd have to reconsider.
For sure. That's 100% what would happen.
It is true.
Nope, won't do it.
Well,
Nope.
Was it gonna be a slur?
Save it for after the podcast, damn it.
No, don't worry about it.
Well, now I have to know.
Don't worry about it.
Well, we can worry about Kamen Rider in the meantime.
Yeah,
though.
I'm always worried about Kamen Rider.
We have to go back to Cafe Amigo. We have to see if this kid got his hotokeki.
He sure did.
Hotokeki.
Oh my god. He wants some pancakes. Me too.
I want some I could fuck up a stack of flapjacks right now like you wouldn't believe.
We make a lot of jokes about Grand Slams here. Specifically on this podcast. I ain't joking about this Grand Slam. I think I need to go get me one.
Go get honestly.
Good.
Absolutely
walk over to Denny's.
Annihilate a lumberjack slam right now.
I'm also just hungry.
Yeah. Hey, listen, me too.
Which means it's probably time to end the episode.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I mean, there's truly not too much else to talk about for this episode. Is this another one of those episodes? Because it is good that you brought this up, Shakes, because I actually, I had a note about it as well. I don't remember if it was for this episode specifically or if it was for a later episode. But I did make a note about, with the airing of Kamen Rider Black, we have now returned to an era of our hero defeating a bad guy and then riding off into the sunset for a Grand Slam.
Yeah.
We've got a couple of episodes that end with Kotaro riding off to somewhere.
Yeah. He's got a continuous fight against evil.
Yeah.
Though he tends to, I think he tends to interact with the situation better.
Oh, definitely.
Than Hongo ever did. He just, we get our little postscript generally, and I think they do the ride away, but I feel like, it usually is just sort of a visual motif more than him actually leaving the scene like Hongo always did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because, sometimes he's spending his time with his sister. Or a lot of the time it's him spending time with his sister and reuniting with his family.
Mm-hmm.
And who is important to him. And I guess his brother's girlfriend.
His brother's girlfriend.
That shop he has to tend to now.
And their snack amigo.
My snack amigo.
So
Our
true.
Snack Amigo.
So
Our
true.
Snack Amigo. Thank goodness.
But yeah.
Does that end our thoughts for this set of episodes?
I think it does. It sounds like it does.
Then that means it's time for the return of an old segment and the start of a new one.
Yes, that's right, ladies and gentlemen. We heard your inquiries, your thoughts, your complaints, your comments. By which I mean we thought about it and then came to a consensus. It is back, ladies and gentlemen. The return of a best loved segment, the death count with B drops.
Yay.
Yippee!
Yeah.
So I'm curious what the total numbers will be, because we have a very, very, very steady line thus far, save for the first episode, where in the first episode we have 6 total kills.
Oh my god.
Between Professor Akizuki being killed and the 5 Gorgon Spider-Men.
Kind of reverse the scales a little bit.
A little bit, but this trend doesn't seem to be reversing, in the sense that there's no evidence given to me to believe that anyone was killed in any of these episodes. So I must optimistically believe that they all survived. Therefore, our only 2 other deaths are our other Gorgon monsters, the Jaguar Men and no, sorry, there's one other. There was Yukari Tsukikage also got killed.
Yeah, she definitely died.
She got killed by the Jaguar Men, and then there was the Silkworm that got killed in the 3rd episode. So that gives us 8 total kills for Team Kamen. Wait, did I do my math right? Sorry, I did these notes so fast right before.
I think you're right.
The stream started.
Let's see. About right.
Or
let's see.
Yeah.
5, 6. No, that's 7. I'm silly.
Yeah.
That's 7. We have 7 kills for Team Kamen Rider and 2 kills for Team Gorgon as of this first 3 set of episodes. We also have a new segment that we're starting.
Yeah.
Based on a trend we were seeing going on throughout these episodes. In which they can't stop throwing this man through windows. Kotaro is engaged to windows, and
no Max to be found.
Yeah, I've generally been taking account of a number of like collateral damage that's been going on, but Windows has been a really fun, consistent thing that's happened a lot. And I wanted to ask you all here and now, I don't believe it should count for every episode, maybe just once, but do we want to count the intro as a broken window by Kotaro?
I was straight thinking, yeah.
Yeah, I think put
give it
on
one.
The board, yeah, because just for like the first episode.
It defines the intro.
It really does. It sets the tone
Okay.
for how many window murders we're going to be doing this season.
Yeah.
In that case, in the span of 3 episodes,
How many
we
windows?
have 5 total windows broken.
Wow.
We've almost killed as many windows as we have people.
So we've got 5 windows broken and 9 people killed as of the 3rd episode,
Wow. That's
which I think is fun.
he's posting up good numbers.
I like these numbers, Kotaro.
Yeah.
Keep it up, kid.
You're doing good.
God.
Wow.
That's
Yeah.
like,
But yeah, I have no idea if this will continue consistently. The kills definitely will, but if the windows just kind of die off at some point, due to
I'll
being
be very
hunted to
sad.
extinction,
Yeah.
we'll we will perhaps drop the bit. We'll have to see, but yeah, return to the kill count. I'm looking forward to that, and I hope you are too. Let us know your thoughts.
Yeah. With that being said, we are just about ready to wrap things up. Before we do, though, of course, we want to make sure that you know what we are going to be talking about next time. So we are going to be going through the next 3 episodes, episodes 4 through 6, on our next episode. Those are The Devil's Laboratory, Run Through the Maze, Kotaro, and The Secret Clairvoyance Mystery. So go check those out before the next episode goes up if you wish, or if you prefer listening to this podcast without watching the show at all and having any context for whatever the fuck we're talking about, then congratulations, you are God's strongest soldier.
Yeah, keep on keeping on, man.
Yeah.
This is cool. I don't know.
Thank you for being here. We appreciate you.
Yeah, I mean, as long as you're enjoying yourself. But thank you very much for joining us. I think I speak for everyone when I say we are so happy to be back and doing this again. I'm always excited whenever we get to record a season of this show. So we hope you're looking forward to it as well. We hope that you enjoy Kamen Rider Black. We hope that you have a wonderful day, night, week, etc. And we hope that you always remember that if you can't believe in God and you can't believe in Buddha, you can always believe in Kamen Rider.